You know, I didn't think of it that way. That's actually pretty interesting. Mods can't actually fix shit with our wrenches, but we can defend against trolls with our shields. Dude, that makes me feel like that's some weird safe space, toxic positivity shit going on there. Your mods are here to defend you. They're here to, white knight for you and protect you and make sure that nobody toxic comes into you. I get it. I get it. There are people who can't handle that stuff. So their mods sniff that crap out right away. Why are we getting so many Concords? Yeah. Keep getting lag fluctuations on the starting soon screen. I don't know, man. I don't know what the cause of that might be. Why are we getting so many Concord games? Dude, it's okay. For example, fair game. I don't know how that one's supposed to be pronounced. That dollar sign after the word game it's weird, man. It's kind of fucky. If there's no other word for it but that. I didn't check to make sure I was on the right microphone. Let me double check real quick while I'm thinking about it. I'm sure it's the right one. Yeah, Hyper Quadcast. There we go. No, so think about it. Reads more like Templar code. What are we talking about? The start screen? Oh, you mean the dollar sign after the fair game thing? Yeah, it's weird, man. It's really weird. It's odd. So, Concord, was like 4 or 5 years in development. Fair game allegedly, I think, has been around for 4.5 years almost in development. I think something along those lines. At least when the studio head, the co-founder of the studio that's making Fair Game, when they left the studio, I think it was at like 4.5 years after they first founded the studio. And this is Haven Studios' first game is Fair Game. So clearly that game has been in development in some capacity for 4 or 5 years now. All these games have been in development for the same amount of time. That's the problem. Highguard was 4 or 5 years of development. All these games were being made around the same time. That 2019 to 2022 period is when a lot of them basically broke ground. And I guess we hadn't seen the market correction yet. You hadn't seen a lot of people waking up and saying, dude, I don't want any of this crap, No more lag. Yeah, you mentioned before that the start screen was having issue. Like, weird issues. I don't know. Post about mods? What are you talking about? Yeah, I stopped streaming on Odyssey so I can have a spot on my second monitor for my Kick chat, because I just realized previously in other streams, Kick, although it's integrated into Streamlabs as far as like the encoders and streaming to Kick and all that, if I chat in the open chat, general chat section on Streamlabs, it doesn't go into the Kick chat. It's really weird. It's kind of strange. No, anyways, it kind of makes sense that all these really shitty looking games are all coming out around the same 2 to 3 year span, because they were all getting funded and developed around the same time. And really, this is the thing that pisses me off about Highguard. They wanted to say, because these guys, like 60 of them combined, worked on Apex Legends and Titanfall, right? And they were like, well, in 2019 when Apex came out, there was like 50 other, oh my god, freaking bots over on Kick, man. Get bent, dude. Hang on a second. How do we yeet this bastard here? I gotta extend this. Ban. You banned. You yeeted. Freaking Kick, man. Can you imagine a world without disgusting women ruining gaming? Yo, Equilibrium, I see you with the shield over on Rumble. No, so I can't imagine a world where there's not disgusting women. I mean, it's not just disgusting women. It's, unfortunately, I think they were talking about this. Big Fry was talking about a lot of this stuff, and Big Fry is a YouTuber, game developer, content creator who exists on the Canadian center-left side of things. So whereas I am far on the other side of center for right-wing, but still logical, still sensible, I can still have a rational conversation. Big Fry exists on like the Canadian socialist, just on the left side of center when it comes to a lot of these topics. We were talking this morning in his stream about the body type A and B thing, and the obvious desire to erase strong white male characters. And most people, even people who are liberal, can admit that those are a thing. It's just that you look at it from a different lens where you go, well, there's an ideology behind whatever's driving this. It's not just women, because unfortunately a lot of the men are complicit as well. It's definitely driven. It's driven by these ideologically possessed HR type women, for sure. They're the ones driving it, absolutely. So... okay, I got it. Big Fry's name always wants me hungry for some fries. Yo, hey, Vernum. It's funny, he was talking about it this morning. Somebody asked him how he got the name Big Fry. He's like, I was making my PlayStation account name, and we had just gotten McDonald's, and I had a really long fry. And that's how I came up with it. That's the exact same shit that happened with my username on Xbox Live. When I picked my original Xbox username, Run Tebow Run, it was just because Tim Tebow was a thing at the time. It was a meme.
Do we have to tell you?
Yep.
I do not want online slop games. Tears of joy, I want beautiful women.
Dude, don't we all? Don't we all? And speaking to that, hang on a second. Quagamus over on Discord. He goes by so many different names. I can't. Denial of service on Twitter. And what is he on YouTube chat? I cannot remember for the life of me what his current username is. He sent me something. And thanks for the 5, Luigi. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I mean, we all just want normal, attractive characters in our games, right? And there's a line. There's certainly a line. There's a fine balance you have to reach. Let me show you something. He sent me this screenshot. This new character in First Descendant. And I'm like, oh my god, guys. Like, there's got to be a balance. There's got to be, look, I don't know if I can find it or not. She's got like the red slingshot bikini thing going on. New character. I'll try this. I don't know. I don't know if that's even gonna bring it up. Maybe it's a mod. Maybe it's not a real character. Hey, hello. How's it going? Yeah, actually, women warriors are disgusting. Only men can be a warrior. It's evolutionary fact. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong about that. Even like in situations where you see, I need to switch the chat to live chat, not top chat. Here we go. Sometimes it skips over some of your guys' comments when that happens. Even in situations where women have played auxiliary roles in the military, where it's been like, take for example, feudal Japan. There were absolutely female soldiers, but they were the ones that stayed back and defended the village. They're the ones that stayed back and were like helping retreat. They were not the frontline soldiers. Nobody wants to see women playing the frontline soldier type. You can do it in fantasy. You can do it in some settings like that where there's explanations like magic and whatnot. And you don't have to have like this unlimited amount of like suspended belief to think it's possible. But in general, it's like... Didn't expect Horizon Zero Dawn to become a Concord 4 at all. No, not Zero Dawn. Have you not seen this trailer? Okay. I've got the trailer pulled up. We'll watch it in a minute. It's not Zero Dawn. It's the spin-off live action, spin-off live service multiplayer game. Meanwhile, Overwatch randomly dropped an Indian baddie and there's already tons of Arthur. I'm not surprised. First Xbox username was smallpeen69. When I first had an Xbox username, I wouldn't have understood what the 69 reference really meant, okay? That's how long ago it was. I have no idea how my name came to be here. I don't even use it anywhere else. I like it. Whatever it is cool. I got no complaints. Vernum's easy to remember, Then came along this Horizon spinoff with a character that looks like she ate all the good-looking characters. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. Only sounded soy because of the way I was reading it. DB, I thought you were like... My eyes are burning. I'm just going to relax and listen. I'm not going to try to talk. And here you are talking shit, man. How dare you? It's okay. I will allow it. No, I mean Horizon become Concord. I played Horizon Zero Dawn. Oh, yeah. No, I don't know, dude. Here's the thing about it. I know, God, again, talking about it, I was hanging out in Big Fry's chat for an hour this morning, and somebody brought up Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon had a lot of fans. The Horizon franchise had a lot of fans. It's crazy how many fans there were because it was a PlayStation exclusive. And so, because of that exclusivity, I think the game probably sold more copies. And I'm not going to say that it's a bad game. I haven't played it. I don't know. I assume people enjoyed the games, right? But I assume people had that desire to purchase it simply for some reasons because of the fact that there was that PlayStation exclusivity tied into it. And people go ape shit anytime they have an exclusive. I mean, how many people bought the recent Metroid game and complained about it, but they still bought it because it was a Nintendo exclusive? I don't understand that mentality. So while Horizon might be a perfectly fine game, I think there's probably an argument to be made that a lot of people bought it specifically because it's like, well, I own a PlayStation. It's a PlayStation exclusive, so I should probably own it because if it's an exclusive, it's got to be good, right? XXX Sephora. No, my gamer tag, my original gamer tag was some randomly generated thing. Then I changed it to like Elf Warrior Ecthelion or whatever. Then it became Run Tebow Run and lasted like that for the last 20 years. Now it's some awful thing my daughter named it. And I'm like cringing because I'm attached to that account now. But yeah. Horizon World's perfect for an extraction shooter looter type game. And then they go with this retarded shit instead. Yeah. My shit talking must resume. Oh my god, you and Cage can sympathize now. You fight robot dinosaurs is very cool. No, I'm not saying it's not cool. I just wonder if it wouldn't have been as popular, or at least wouldn't have sold as many copies. The argument is the game sold a lot of copies, but nobody really talks about it. So there isn't that level of hype, or at least perceived hype, around the game. That's, again, that's the discussion I think that there is to be had about that. I'm not trying to judge the quality of the games. I've never played them. I assume based on people buying them and liking them, no one's ever said Horizon is a shitty game. You know, especially people that bought it and played both of them. It's more that from the outside perspective looking in, there doesn't seem to be the level of hype that's warranted for Horizon to have spin-off games. It just doesn't seem like that kind of a tentpole title. But it could be wrong. I don't know. Feminists say we can do without men. Women can be a firefighter, policeman. Then they get wrecked. Oh my god, dude. Those videos where women cops just get bodied by those guys, or they can't catch them, they can't arrest them. It's pretty embarrassing. Yeah, alpha male warrior is always right and good, beautiful women. Yeah, for sure. All right. So I've got a couple quick things. And then I wasn't going to open with the Horizon stuff. I was going to actually cover I think I had the Ashes of Creation stuff to bring up first. Of course, I've got a little bit of filler because I always like to have some filler. The first game had a decent amount and a great story. The second one killed all the hype. Fair enough. Yeah, I've heard more complaints about the second game than the first. But again, you never know how much of it's warranted just due to the fact that you kind of get used to people complaining about things because that's what we do. And you go, okay, how much of it's warranted, how much of it isn't? I believe it is going to be a pay-to-play game. I have not heard a thing about it being free. Name's a nightmare to reply to. Oh, I do believe that all women can do better. Movement is outside interference to destroy a country's ability to defend itself. Hey, Vernum, I'm right there with you. I've played both. Yeah. Okay, well, there you go. So, I wanted to start off with something a little more lighthearted, given the fact that there's a lot of terrible shit in the world right now. I saw this the other day. I was actually going to bring it up on my Wednesday stream if I'd have done a stream on Wednesday. But guys, I was so damn tired Wednesday. I'm like, we've been pushing pretty hard getting videos done every other day. Plus, I did 3 streams last week. I'm like, as much as I wanted to stream on Wednesday, I just couldn't. I just absolutely couldn't. It's not cringe so much as just a complete bore. Oh, that's sad. That's really a bummer. I mean, I'd rather a game be a little cringy than boring. At least cringe you can kind of laugh at. Boring, there's nothing. That's where I fall with Highguard. And I know a lot of people, I take it back. Highguard does have some cringy dialogue. But most video games these days, I'm noticing any game that has hero characters, companions, or, a lot of dialogue between hero characters and hero shooters, it's gotten really cringe. And I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older and I'm more judgmental, or if the writing is getting more and more juvenile. But even like Highguard, the characters interacting and talking to each other. I'm like, this is really bad. This is not good. So this is Lord of the Rings characters as popular memes. Just about. Oh, sorry about my Korean ID. I just wrote what I thought. You know, dude, this is why when I'm chatting on my phone, I don't even try to tag people because you can't. It's just easier this way. So yeah, popular memes as Lord of the Rings. Here we go. Okay, that's annoying sounding, but the memes are pretty funny. I like the old man riding a rocket hammer. See, the old man with the rocket hammer, I look at and I'm kind of like, I don't know. Oh my god. Yo, okay. Frodo as Kermit drinking tea. That's pretty awesome. Oh yeah, yep. Dude, I forgot about this one. Yo, they did have the girl with the burning house. It's Denethor. I didn't realize they had this one. I watched this really quickly earlier. I didn't realize that they had Denethor in here. Oh, no, well, Lord of the Rings, the actual Lord of the Rings doesn't have a problem with, you know, it's a 50-50 shot. Yeah, I wish that third Hobbit movie was in the building. It's a 50-50 shot with the microphone. If I don't unplug it before the stream and then plug it back in, I take the risk of it just randomly crapping out during the stream, and then I have to do the quick reset, you know? Hey, Mr. Hardcore Mode. Yeah, you mentioned like something during the day on Sunday. I don't usually stream much on the weekends and never during the day. And the kids are going to want to watch the Super Bowl, and I'm sure we're going to have like food and snacks and stuff. So I'll probably be busy most of the day on Sunday. Unfortunately. Yeah, no, dude, those Hobbit movies were trash, man. I swear to God. I was saying this last night. The Lord of the Rings films are crappy adaptations, but fantastic films on their own. Again, as adaptations, I get it that they're not the worst adaptations that exist, but really they weren't that great. They did a lot of things wrong. However, they were still amazing movies. The Hobbit movies, it's like, dude, it should have been one movie, maybe two. Dragging it across 3 films was like, holy crap. Then I went silent. No, man, Avernum, it's a 50-50 shot. If I unplug the microphone before the stream and then plug it back in just to make sure it's working, I take the risk of it doing that during the stream. Otherwise, nothing was worse than the TV show. No, dude, Rings of Power is so bad. Wise ass duck, thank you. Hey, the thing that you sent me on Discord from First Descendants, was that a legitimate skin in the game, or was that somebody's like horny modding Rule 34 stuff? Because I googled the new character, I couldn't find that outfit, so I'm not sure if that was one of those things that was actually real or not. Hey, Korean Cowboy. Hobbit Trilogy is amazing if you compare it to whatever they are releasing nowadays. Okay, fair enough, but I'm talking, I don't know. Even as movies, they're not as good as the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And then as adaptations, they are awful. Awful adaptations. Watch Lord of the Rings, the old one that actually looks good and lore is good. Oh, you mean like the animated ones? Yeah, I've not watched the anime ones. At least not in a long time. That was the base skin? Wow. I couldn't even find it on a Google search, although Google might be saying no. Oh my god, quality deteriorated so much that the shit from a decade ago looks like gold. You are probably not wrong about that. I'm not asking for a friend. I was asking for the chat because I mentioned it. I got nothing to hide. Nothing to be ashamed of here. What's crazy is the AI. This is brilliant. The AI these days is getting so good that when it changes the shape of like the characters' faces, this still looks like Kate Blanchett and Liv Tyler. Like this is freaky. AI is getting crazy. going nuts. I was gonna play this one on Wednesday if I had a stream also, guys. This one is awesome. It's just like 1 minute long. Hang on a second. This is not AI.
I don't get hungry. I get something even worse. I get so freaking... This is the second time I've drooled over myself on a video today. Goals. I don't get hungry. I get fucking infuriated. Infuriated. Oh, I haven't eaten enough yet. Infuriated. Holy shit.
Oh, I love Clara. She's an awesome account.
Infuriated. Vittu. I get infuriated. I get infuriated. I get infuriated. Joo, todellista. Anyway, I almost ran over a woman today because I was so pissed off. I didn't. I was...
I love it. All of that to say, I almost ran over a woman. I'm like, oh my god. Oh, I know. To be fair, I know Americans who probably can't say or spell infuriated. So, oh, she's Finnish. Yeah, no, she's says apparently Finnish people can't get infuriated. Why can't she say the word? I don't know. Tongue tied apparently. Oh no, English is definitely her second language. Right amount of crazy. Yep, Mr. Hardcore Mode. Exactly. You could look at most guys and they'd be like, yep, would 100%. So let's do a quick check-in on a high guard. Yeah, this is one of those really contentious things that pisses a lot of people off. Every day I'm seeing people more and more trying to shill for this game. I'm like, look, guys, here's the thing. The developers are seemingly doing the right things, doing everything they can. I mean, look, it's got a peak here in the last 24 hours, 8,500 players. They're doing what they can to get these numbers back up, but really at this point, it's at the mercy of how good the gameplay is, and the gameplay is not that good. So I don't even know. It's like, it drives me crazy because I'm constantly getting these people who are like, oh, you shouldn't be allowed to say anything bad. I'm like, guys, I've got 3.5 hours in that game. I finally uninstalled it tonight before the stream because it's just taking up space on my desktop. And I'm like, I played almost 4 hours. I got no desire. No, it hasn't gone lower. In fact, the numbers for the weekend have kind of gone up a little bit since it's Friday and stuff. And who knows, they might hit 10K this weekend. They've added a lot of stuff. They're trying their best. They're adding, like, okay, for example, you got this here. You've got a 2-minute little teaser trailer. German's having a hard time pronouncing TH, yeah. It says episode 2 is here. Hunt down your prey as the new warden Econ. Soar over the newly discovered map of Skydrift. Put your skills to the test in ranked mode and more. Basically, all they've added is 5v5 in ranked. That's it. It's still the exact same gameplay loop. So, I know DB Wild, it's not great. Steampunk and Call of Duty and Apex had a deformed baby. I was saying Valorant and Apex and Rainbow Six had a deformed baby. Rainbow Six Siege. Koreans, when we say it's in English, it's hard to speak in wave tones because we speak very flat. Oh yeah, us Americans, especially, depending on what part of the country you're in, have quite the speech patterns, the vernacular. Yeah, I had to go out of the way to try to sell it and fall flat forward. Yeah, exactly. If that initial hype spike weren't there, the game would have been a nice indie thing. Yeah, and the thing about it is, I do feel like they made the wrong choice by dropping the game when they did. They should have told Jeff, you know what, Jeff, I'm glad you're excited about our game. That's awesome. But we really want to drop this thing as a shadow drop. Let it cook for a while, work on it. I mean, look, they didn't do a beta. They didn't do an open playtest. They should have been like, let's approach this cautiously and just take our time. And then they would have had the feedback from those actual playtesters to tell them, look, you need more than a 3v3 mode. This isn't working. You need minions. You need something else on the map. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, I know. At least the furries will be happy now.
To kill a monster, one must become one. I've hunted these lands many times. Beneath the silence, something stirs.
And it goes back to the damn shield breaker thing. I saw Jay Viper talking about it on Twitter, and he's like, no, the shield breaker should be there at the start, and then you have the choice to loot or grab the shield breaker, and then somebody else is like, if you loot while the shield breaker's on the map, then they take the shield breaker to your base and you lose. Like, okay, not everyone's opinion about the game is going to be like fully fleshed out, because to be fair, a lot of people either haven't played the game to see the gameplay loop for themselves, or they haven't gone in as in depth as we've talked about with the problems with all the different gameplay mechanics as they are right now. You know, birds are terrifying. Yeah, yeah, they do have to fix it in lightning speed, 100%. Yeah, they're really dressing up a beta test. Exactly. This, I mean, that's the problem, is they needed to just admit, look, guys, this is our beta test. You know, that the voice of Keith David, no. Atticus is Abubakar Salim. So if this is Atticus narrating, then I think that's Abubakar Salim. Why they put on the magical orbs instead of heart? It's not brutal fun at all. Yeah, it's well, the whole thing is very kiddish, very childish. Does the wolf also ride a horse? No. So the new character transforms into a wolf. That's like his ultimate. And then there's a wolf that's able to be ridden on by everybody else. But no, the wolf doesn't ride the wolf. I hate uncreative dickheads bowing to shareholders. Oh, for sure. Exactly. I learned English by making everything English. I think I grew up with English words. That's why I know English so well. Hey, you know what? I can't speak... Well, I used to speak German, but that was about the extent of it. Who else noticed the modern weapons in a fantasy? Are they modern? I just thought they were pretty standard generic slop. I don't know.
Be wary, fellow wardens.
Yeah, the most unoffensive game ever.
The wolves are coming in! And we're hungry.
Okay, your new mount, you can ride a wolf. Can the wolf attack anybody? Because if you're riding a wolf and it can't actually attack anyone, then what the hell's the point of riding a wolf? You know? One's World War II and others are modern. Yeah, they do. They've got a bolt action in there. I'm not sure I'd call it World War II, but one odd steampunkish one. Oh, yeah. No, there is a little bit of that weird influence.
I can see your heart's beating. You're right to be afraid.
What the hell was that? No, they didn't have a wolf at the start. They had a bear.
Through paths unknown we hunt. Run with me to victory.
But here's another issue. Just thought of it while I'm talking about this whole ranked thing. Here's another issue. So they added the 5v5 server. They said that basically based on their playtest of that, 50% of people played 3v3, 50% of people played 5v5 during that weekend. So they decided to make that a permanent mode. So now you're running 3v3 and 5v5 servers with only 6 to 10 people in them, depending on which server it is at a time. Now they're going to be splitting that up even more with the 3v3 ranked mode. So now you've got 3v3, 3v3 ranked, and 5v5 across. Maybe if you add all the console players and the peak of Steam, like right now with 8,000 people on Steam, let's say there's another 6 or 8,000 from all consoles combined, you're looking at 16,000 people split across 3 different modes. If they ever add any modes and don't increase their player base, it's going to be impossible to find people to play with. Like, matchmaking is going to become it's going to be non-existent. Hey, Patriot. I could also ride wolves in Power World and help you fight alongside you, right? Oh, it wasn't the bolt action? Okay. I didn't, dude, honestly, I didn't study the weapons that much. I found a couple that felt good to shoot, and if I picked them up while I was, looting, that's the ones I used. That was it.
Go ahead. Cry wolf. It will not save you.
Just hope that at some point the future Modern Whipper gets adopted to fantasy properly. I don't know. I'm still looking at the fact that you have a sword. There's a freaking sword, big ass sword. It's like the focal point of all the initial advertising is the guy holding the sword up in the air. And it's not a usable sword. It's a freaking key. A minigun that's just a Gatling wand. Dude, I saw a meme today about arc raiders. Well, it didn't start off about arc raiders, but it was like a revolver and a freaking, minigun. And it's like revolver holds 5 bullets, 1 headshot or 2 body shots kills any target, and then they've got the minigun and it's like takes 58 headshots to kill a target. And it's like, yeah, there are games like that where for whatever reason you have a revolver or a pistol, some sort of like heavy weapon handheld device, like on Arc Raiders, the Anvil. That thing hits pretty much harder than anything else. How much money do you think they put into the game? I mean, I've seen a lot of people speculating like around 100 million. 60 to 100, I think, is the ballpark. Oh my god, Mozambique memes. No, I wasn't talking about those, but those were gold back in the day. Then they went and fixed the damn Mozambiques, man. Talk about demanding you want to also use the sword. I think, dude, of all the things that they've done wrong with this game, the biggest miss was not having it where the sword was usable. Like, why? Who would think in a million years, let's put a giant fantasy sword in a game that's also the key to accessing your enemy's base, but make it unusable? The sword breaks the energy shield. Why is it not a hammer? It would make more sense. Why does it have to be a shield, or why does it have to be a sword that's also a key? And then the battering ram comes out and you have a 30-second cutscene, and then eventually the shield gets worn down, but you can't stop the battering ram. Why don't you make it where the sword enables you to then destroy the enemy's base, but they can fight you off in the meantime? I don't know. They were trying to... I think the problem is that they realized only having 6 people on a map, they really had to try to limit the amount of time. Therefore, the shield breaker key is an instant 30 hit point damage towards the shield for the base, which again, inevitably somebody's going to lose. If then you attack and don't destroy any of the points, your base loses 30 hit points. They were trying to keep it from being like an hour-and-a-half match. So, but again, they threw a whole bunch of ideas at the wall and tried to make all of them stick. Sword is aura farming. Oh, man. Link's been shooting lasers from his sword for decades. No. He's not shooting lasers. It's like a magical sword that he's shooting from his sword. Carl was the last person who brought up the sword. We don't know what. We don't talk about what happened to Carl. Where does the sword even come from? Who the hell drops it on the field? You're asking way too many questions. Question: what is the lore of Highguard, if there is any? I don't know. So they're still fleshing that out. They're still working on it. With the new trailers, with the new, character they're dropping, they're slowly trying to create this tapestry, this backstory for the characters, but they're not there yet. Like I heard somebody talking about, well, doesn't this character align with this other character? It's like, I don't freaking know. I got no idea. Yeah, they tried, exactly, Korean Cowboy. They took the best pieces of other games and they just tried to make them all work. All right, another fun one. We've got an update from Mind's Eye. You guys remember this one, this beauty?
Welcome to Red Rock. I do know you. The real you.
I didn't, to be honest, I thought this game might have been dead. I didn't realize that they were even doing updates for this game. Because it's a special sword, Avernum. It's special, unique. It's one of a kind.
So close to truth. Perhaps you need a little more motivation.
One of the things about Mind's Eye, aside from the game being an empty, broken mess that nothing works properly, and it's basically a meme at this point, the whole game, I know it gets a little repetitive to say, but the whole damn game looks like a tech demo or AI. Like it was just generated with AI. It's just lifeless. Oh yeah, it's a terrible game. So yeah, apparently they put out a new update for it, but it gets really weird because apparently After the disastrous launch and everything that went wrong, apparently these guys actually sued a YouTuber. They tried to sue a YouTuber. In fact, let me look this up real quick because I can't remember the exact story. I think they sent a cease and desist to a YouTuber. Hang on a second. Mind's Eye lawsuit. No, that wasn't it. Although there is a lawsuit. Early February 2026, Mark Gerhardt, the CEO of Build a Rocket Boy, issued a public cease and desist warning via the company's official Discord server to a YouTuber named Cyberboy. Yes, here we go. This is what I was looking for. Okay, here we go. So it says, Mark Gerhardt, co-CEO of Build a Rocket Boy and head of development on Mind's Eye, found himself at the center of a dispute with YouTuber Cyberboy after the creator published a video about Leslie Benzies and newly released documents related to the Jeffrey Epstein case. Oh, that's because this dude, Leslie Benzies, was mentioned in the files. So he sent a cease and desist to this guy, Cyberboy. Okay, got it. That's what that whole thing was about. I forgot it had connection to the Epstein stuff. Very, very icky. It's not about making sense. It's about gaslighting people. Hey, Matt Adam. Family and work and shit. Everything's fine. Got baseball evaluations for 2 of my 3 kids tomorrow, baseball and softball. My oldest kid doesn't have to evaluate anymore because now he's in that older league where they have to just basically like make a couple of teams out of the teenagers. Oh my God, he's going to be on a team full of freaking teenagers. Oh my God. I'm not ready for this. Yeah, so from Insider Gaming, I saw this one pop up this morning. Mind's Eye co-CEO alleges a 1 million, what is that, euro? I'm so retarded when it comes to that. Was spent in sabotaging the game, will pursue legal action. The Valve lawsuit. Actually, there's 2. Aren't there 2 Valve lawsuits? There's one that's ongoing from the UK about the storefront and the pricing for their games. And then there's another one that somebody sent on Discord that sounds like was settled or that Valve won on the 26th, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. That was one of those things that until I actually looked at it on Monday, I think it was, I was completely unaware of like all the information going on about it. I don't think it's needed help unless they hired an Indian dev. Who the F even cares about their broken game? I don't know. Okay, so it says, in the meeting, which took place in late January and was sent to Insider Gaming on the condition that the video not be made public, Gerhardt opened the call by saying that they caught the guys who have been sabotaging Mind's Eye. I mean, don't they ever just take responsibility themselves for sabotaging their own game? He alleged that the company behind the campaign was a very big American company, but that it's probably not the company you're thinking of. Gerhardt alleged that the smear campaign had a budget of over 1 million euros spent in 2025 and that the big American company allegedly paid the UK-based company Ritual Network, who he claims are a bunch of gangsters, to carry out the sabotages. According to Gerhardt, the company has been paying several influencers, including Cyberboy. Wait, they're saying Cyberboy, the guy that got sent the cease and desist over the Epstein stuff, is one of the guys that this alleged Ritual Network is paying to sabotage Mind's Eye? Holy shit. Dude, this is insane. I didn't realize it was like involving this dude. Okay. An influencer that Gerhardt recently threatened with a cease and desist, 3 journalists and Build a Rocket Boy employees to harm Mind's Eye and Build a Rocket Boy's reputation. Remember, Build a Rocket Boy is the studio behind that shit game Mind's Eye, right? Obsessed with trying to get ahead with protecting their slop. That's how you know it's slop. Yeah. Well, you know it's slop because the game came out, people played it, and it was slop. Okay, it says, in the meeting, Gerhardt alleges that all of these individuals will all be served in person, criminal complaints shortly, and that the criminal charges are for espionage, sabotage, and criminal interference. Everyone who's involved has real problems, including the company behind it. This is the start of our comeback, he said. Oh my God. So his belief is that there's some evil, shady corporation, some organization that spent €1 million paying journalists and YouTubers, apparently, to smear this game and to destroy the studio. Turns out it's a guy trying to rob $900 million from Valve for years. Wow. So Epstein sabotaged Mind's Eye. Yeah, exactly. Cyber Waffle usually talks about online privacy. Yeah, from what I understand, he didn't say anything in his video. I watched another video talking about it that would have gotten him into some serious trouble. They're injected piss poor code into it. Yeah. See my Enderroll rant? It's astonishing how a bunch of volunteers can make a game so much better than the one they're modding, and the one being Skyrim. I think I saw something about that. I've been kind of busy the last couple days, but I think I saw part of that. Says Insider Gaming contacted the UK-based company Ritual Network for comment about the allegations, to which they replied, Ritual Network is a creator-supported platform and is not involved in the matter you referenced. We are not aware of any legitimate legal action involving Ritual Network and have not been provided with any evidence supporting these claims. Any suggestion that Ritual Network is connected to these allegations is incorrect. When Insider Gaming asked Builder Rocket Boy for comment on the allegations Mark Gerhard made in the meeting, a Builder Rocket Boy spokesperson said, "We don't comment on leaked internal communications. We do have evidence that there has been a coordinated campaign to purposely and maliciously damage Builder Rocket Boy's reputation and undermine confidence in Mind's Eye." Remember, as I recall, again, correct me if I'm wrong, as I recall, this was because this entire saga, the reason this game even exists, is because a former Rockstar executive left Rockstar with the intent to build his own Grand Theft Auto, and I believe that same executive sued Rockstar and lost, if I'm not mistaken. And here today now we have all of this drama. Yeah, they're trying to get some money out of it, exactly. It says, we're working with our legal team and taking steps to address this. Following the allegations made in the meeting, Gerhard went on to say, the way we win as a business is through the quality of our games, through the love, the passion that we put into Mind's Eye. Oh my God. They're going to put the alleged members in Mind's Eye. He continued, given this has happened to us, I'm going to own this narrative. We will use these people, these names, and these facts for our own fun. We're going to put some of these names into our upcoming spy mission. Insider Gaming understands that Mind's Eye's upcoming spy mission will be a reused version of the now canceled Hitman mission announced in June as they separate from IO Partners as its publisher. Oh, IOI. And let's have some fun with it, said Gerhardt. Let's tell the community the story behind it even plays out in court. So, I think this is not us being the victim. We've taken a couple punches. We've kept turning the other cheek while we got our house in order. And now it's time to start judoing this right back at them. And, let's have some fun with it. At the end of the day, we're storytellers, we're game makers. Dude, so he's going to put the developers that he believes were maliciously trying to sabotage the game into a mission to what? Have them killed? Like, dude, he legit is going to take the names of the people who worked at his company that he believes is behind the leak or the collusion or whatnot and have them whacked in the game. This man is psychotic. Somebody needs to check up on this guy Gerhard. Oh my God. Coordination is foreign to them? Yeah. If the legal team's as competent as their coders, they're not going to earn shit with this. It's crazy, man. It is insane. Can't you get sued for that? I mean, so here's the thing. This was an internal communication. It was a video that was leaked to Insider Gaming. So they can claim, I don't know. I mean, they didn't release the names of the guys in this video that they were planning on putting in their game to essentially digitally assassinate. Randy 2.0, yeah. Hey, Cage. But I mean, if they were able to connect it to real life people who actually had no wrongdoing on their part, and they find out that they put their likeness into a game to digitally assassinate, I would imagine you would have some sort of case, right? I don't know. Hey, Burner. Big T, I like that. That makes no sense. If they put them in the game without their consent, then they're fucked. If they change the characters to not be tied to the real world, then what's the point? Dude, it's yeah, it sounds like a spiel they're trying to hype up their broken game with. They're tracking employees. The meeting then moved to Gerhardt explaining why Bill Rockboy had recently rolled out an enhanced cybersecurity software to employees without their knowledge. Oh my God, this dude is like unhinged. Oh my God, paranoia kicking in, guys. Insider Gaming understands the software is called Terramind, and according to one source, was rolled out to employees' PCs without their knowledge. Terramind is an employee monitoring and cybersecurity platform that tracks user activity, including keystrokes and screen behavior, in an attempt to track insider threats. Dude! Oh my God, kind of a guy with pictures of his enemies all over the walls of his home and having their eyes crossed out. Oh my God. Oh, you already know about Terramind? Well, you, Joe Darkness, you're into computers and stuff. This is I've heard the name Terramind, but not in any depth or explanation. It's a spyware corpo, yeah. I mean that makes sense now. It says, it leads me to the next point. You know, I feel there's been a rollout of some enhanced cybersecurity software that I think has caused quite a lot of confusion, upset, perhaps even mistrust, said Gerhardt. He continued to say the reason why the cybersecurity measures were rolled out was to see the IT team periodically try and improve our security measures, and that he hates the fact that we even have to monitor in the first place. And, you know, I think it goes without saying that we can trust 99.9% of this business. The problem is it's the 1%, that's the problem. And you know, the next 90 days for this business are absolutely critical. Why the next 90 days? Are they running out of money? Like, what's the deal with that? Gerhardt added that he hopes the cybersecurity measures can be removed from employees' computers within the next 3 months, but he takes full responsibility for how the software is rolled out and poorly communicated. I mean, here's the thing. Reasonably speaking, if you're at work and your job is a computer tech job and you're not supposed to be looking at illicit material or screwing around on games on your computer. And what if you're on your break? What if you check your personal email on your break while you're, you know, not working? Well, I hate that. That is so disgusting, man. So I'm glad you're live tonight. Only compliment you over. Hey, I'll take it. Why not? We moved from every kid wants to and thinks can be a professional athlete to now everyone thinks they can be game devs and think that they're hot stuff. Yeah, pretty much. That's really keylogging and spyware. My ex-company tried it and it captured passwords and other stuff, right? So if they are logging into, like, let's say personal emails, personal accounts, things that they would normally be doing at home, but let's say they're on their break and they have a computer, so why the hell not? And it's capturing all that information. That is insane, dude. That is crazy. The meeting ended with Gerhardt saying that he believes February 4th is a defining chapter for the game, as the game will run as a live service. Okay, so that's the reason for the recent update. Running it as a live service. How's that going to fix the game? Okay. But stressed that the call was to share the huge news that those involved in the alleged sabotage campaign had been caught, and that lawyers will have them served, or serve in the process, have served them, or this is weirdly typed, or in the process of serving them. Gerhardt concluded, you guys will get a fair chance to have your game seen and enjoyed by players without the manipulation that has happened and the criminal behavior that has happened. And yeah, please bear with us, guys, in terms of the additional cybersecurity controls. It's only there because of what we've been through, and I want to make sure that I can protect you guys going forward, and no one in the team is able to sabotage your work, your careers, and your studio. Holy shit! Okay, I pulled up this article not realizing how bad this was. Tom Henderson, the guy who wrote it, I think he's the founder of Insider Gaming. He actually popped into Big Fry's chat this morning while they were talking about it. I didn't realize it was this big of a thing. Like, this is insane. All right, Patriot, have a good night, buddy. Oh, no worries, Cage. I might just have to speak slower and more clearly for you. That is doing without the employer's knowledge is a lawsuit waiting to happen. You would think, right? I mean, imagine this dude. He's so busy sniffing his own farts, getting high on his own product, that he's like, yes, I can tell all my employees we caught the evil masterminds behind how bad our game was received, and we're going to turn everything around, and all of a sudden people are going to love our game again. Like, dude. In the US, it's a gray area also. I mean, I would imagine if you're working for somebody else in an office capacity using company computers or whatever, and you know going into a job that they're going to be monitoring everything you're doing, and they say don't enter anything personal, nothing of that, it's all work related because there's going to be this stuff monitoring your work. I guess that there's probably legal precedent for that. But again, I've never worked in a job like that. I've never had to sign a contract for that kind of shit. So I don't know. Maybe it's not legal. I would imagine it is. I would imagine it's something that as long as you consent to it, you can implement in your company. But again, did these guys consent? No. I know it's not legal. Yeah, no, spying on them is not legal. I'm talking about like knowing that when you start working at a job that they're going to be monitoring all your information. But how does that fix the myriad of problems their game has? It doesn't. Guys, Nick Tech actually has this tweet here talking about it. This guy, this YouTuber, Nick Tech, he actually has been playing a lot of Mind's Eye. I've seen him uploading clips. And apparently this game was supposed to be the GTA killer, right? You still can't steal. You can't carjack random parked cars in the game. They're essentially off limits. There's no interaction. And there's still tons of buggy issues with the game. It's crazy. Now that video games is the largest moneymaker for entertainment in the world, it's going to be chock full of scammers. Oh, dude, it already is. Think about it this way. I'm not saying that most of these on Steam are scammers, but Steam is getting like 20,000 games a year. There's a lot of that's either AI slop or just scams. Spying happens as we message and talk. Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, no, it happens in all capacities of life. Doesn't make it legal, but essentially you kind of understand it when you use technology these days. So Nick Tech says, imagine you're working on Build a Rocket Boy and your co-CEO asks you to design a mission where players kill, Build a Rocket Boy employees because they sabotage the company. Does that sound ridiculous? It is because it is. This guy's calling the people who worked on his company saboteurs. What a way to treat the people who worked hard on making this game happen. Now, maybe there was one or two people who worked on this game who's like, yeah, this thing is shit. I'm bad at my job. I'm going to burn everything down on the way out. Maybe they messed with some codes or I don't know. I don't know what one or two people could have honestly done. But I mean, like, holy shit, man. This is some deranged behavior. This is insane. Yeah, a lot of 99-cent games on Steam no one will ever know about. Exactly. I worked at a U.S. bank for a while. You have to do about 18 hours of training for regulations on what you can and can't do. We're talking about like the privacy stuff. And those will make money for the devs because they can generate infinite amounts of keys and earn infinite amount of playing cards that are still worth money to people because of the levels. It's a shadow industry, has been for the past decade. Yeah, that's crazy. They don't care about the game, so they'll go out with a bang. Dude, this is going to be an epic implosion when it finally happens. This is going to be crazy. All right, so a little update on the Ashes of Creation stuff before we actually get to Horizon and the freaking retarded, lovely individuals over at The Gamer complaining about Overwatch. Question, if it turns out that there were actual saboteurs, what happens? Then they could probably sue them. I mean, I don't even know. I guess it would depend on what the definition of sabotage is. You could say if these people, let's say, for example, it was somebody that had a non-disclosure agreement as part of their job. A lot of these developers probably have that, right? Because they can't go and just tell everyone else what they're doing. If they violated the NDA, it's whatever legal stipulations and penalties are applied to that. But they can't go to jail, I would imagine, for violating an NDA for a software company. What can they do? I don't know. This is not going to be a No Man's Sky comeback. Of course it's not. No, absolutely not. And then it's like they're claiming it's not just ineptitude or a breach of an NDA. They're saying sabotage. There's no legal precedent that I know of for... This is really weird gray area. This is waters I've never swam in. I don't know. They need evidence of sabotaging. Can't just throw the word around and win. Yeah, who bought it? I don't know anybody personally who bought Mind's Eye. I have never seen a single person in my comments section or any of you guys ever admit to buying the game. So I don't know anybody that ever bought it. This is honestly my favorite show on YouTube. I'll never compliment you again. Now this is just you. You're just drunk, okay? This is just you drunk speaking. Appreciate it, though. Talking about data, I saw them crushing 2 terabyte SSD at the bank. I don't know what you mean by that. You mean like destroying 2 terabytes worth of data, or... Maybe the word they might be looking for is corporate espionage, but even so, that's a reach. Yeah, and that's a matter of like a lawsuit, monetary damages, breach of contracts, breach of an NDA, all that kind of stuff. Never even bothered to see if it was piratable. Dude, there's some stuff that you should be ashamed to pirate. I think this game is definitely a qualifier for that category. All right, so talking about Ashes of Creation, I know a lot of you probably know what's up already with that game. It was essentially this online World of Warcraft competitor that hadn't even really launched yet. It was still in the early days, early access. The game wasn't doing so hot. They had already had a lot of money spent on it, a lot of money raised to kickstart the thing. Launched it onto Steam, and it died within 2 months. The sole member of the board, the founder of the studio, Steven Sharif, claims he was ousted by the board, but he was the only member of the board. The game is now dead. It's been delisted on Steam. You can go to the page for Ashes of Creation, but you can no longer purchase it. Apparently, according to what I've been reading online, Steam is actually holding on to the money for all the sales that they generated when they first launched the game on Steam. So I don't know if Ashes of Creation, if Intrepid Studios has even seen a dime of that money. Not much worth pirating. That's a big problem to have. Oh, destroying the SSD with a disk crusher. Okay. I bought a different game that I thought was going to be like Mind's Eye. It's called Brown Eye. MMOs are sophisticated hybrids of P2P and servers, and Ashes is an open world. It can't be fixed quickly. Yeah. Oh my god, dude. All right, so now we actually have a recent statement within the last couple days from Margaret Crone, who was the communications director over there at Intrepid. She said, I waited until today to share this because I wanted to be sure I was communicating from a place of clarity. Intrepid Studios has shut down in a way that I didn't expect. What I can share is what I experienced. On the 20th of January, toward the end of the workday, I was informed that we'd be laying off 100 developers. I was devastated. These are hardworking people who were going to lose their jobs. I believed it was something we could face together and find a path forward. On the 29th, I shared this information confidentially with my game services team. Told them changes were coming. I did not yet know who would be affected, and that I wished I had more certainty to offer. Couldn't live with myself if I didn't give them advance notice. These are people who deserve to be treated like human beings. By the end of the day, I received confirmation of which people on my team would be impacted. On the 30th, I spoke individually with each of my team members to let them know whether they were affected so they could begin planning and preparing. Those who were staying began working on ways to move forward. If you lose 100 developers from a studio, they can't possibly have more than a couple hundred. That's crazy. On January 31st, we were all informed via a confusing email that we would be laid off, along with a warn notice. It's still shocking. The entire studio gathered to try to understand what had happened and what it meant for our future. In the end, none of us are receiving our final paychecks. The 60 days notice and pay outlined under the WARN Act, PTO payouts, or other compensation owed. What matters most to me now are the people, both the players and developers. To the players, the entire development team was working extremely hard, pulling long hours and wishes with all our hearts that we could have given you Ashes of Creation. No words that can fully express how sorry we are in this journey into this way. You should pursue a refund. You deserve it. To my colleagues, this team's truly a family. Culture we built together is something I've never experienced anywhere else. In the midst of heartbreak and uncertainty, we came together to review resumes, help with portfolios, share job leads, and support one another emotionally. Wish I had better news. I wish our story had ended differently. You can see down here confirming that she's not getting paid. What is being done is illegal. Somebody said, so was Steven as shady as the community is saying he was about this whole thing? Kind of weird to leave that one huge part out of this post. She says, from my experience, Steven was always kind, generous, and looked out for us. This has been heartbreaking. So that kind of throws murky water on the whole, the concept that Steven Sharif knew about this, that he was the one responsible for this, right? Not to mention that pirating a AAA slop that is 150 gigabytes. Oh god, dude, games are so big. Great savior, Gabe, exactly. Oh man. It's so boring unless you personally know Margaret. So glad I don't have social media. What a boring turd of a post. You know, Tekla, that's how a lot of this stuff reads, unfortunately. It doesn't have that sizzle and drama like the last couple of days with all the right-wing e-girl shit on Twitter. It's degenerate, it's stupid, it's just soap opera gossip, but it's been really entertaining. This kind of stuff is just bleak, boring, and depressing. Yeah, Pirate Software did glaze the hell out of this thing, I remember, yeah. How's it legal? Well, it's It's not legal, but it's possible. One of the reveal events years ago is being ran by the current communication director. The way she treated everyone and answered the questions, red flags for me. I don't think it's the same gal, Margaret Crone. I think they brought her on after the fact because people seem to like her. I don't know anything about her. But then I saw this YouTube video today that popped up. It's from Zyback TV. Big channel, 200,000 subscribers. Says, Stephen Sharif innocent. He sent me the documents. House sale controversy, ashes of creation. I have no idea if he's being sarcastic, if it's the truth. I have no idea. It's only 30 gigabytes. Oh my God. Wait, how is it only 30 gigabytes? That game's got to be way bigger than that. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. If that's one of those, when they repack games, it gets smaller things. I have to disavow. Disavow entirely, but have fun. So I want to give this a listen. I don't know anything about this guy. I don't know if what he's saying is legit, but let's just give this a look here. Compressed, exactly. Okay, that makes sense then. Let's switch to the bigger screen here. Yo ho ho. Sail away, my friend. Sail away.
Buckle up, folks. This one's going to be pretty crazy. So recently I made a video talking about the Ashes of Creation controversy and how the company exploded overnight, how all of the employees aren't going to get paid. And I made a 50-minute video. Steven saw this video and took issue.
You guys see that thumbnail right there? That's crazy. That's crazy. I swear to God, I've seen this exact same thumbnail from that Kira TV person. Hang on. I'm not going to bother pulling it up on the computer unless I'm wrong, or unless I'm right about it. I swear to God, there's the exact same thumbnail. And I get it. Nothing's original on YouTube, yada, yada, whatever. But I'm pretty sure this is like a one-for-one ripoff. Hang on. Dude, oh my God. Okay. All right. Holy shit. Wait a second. Dude. Okay. That's really not cool. All right, hang on. Let's go back here while I look for it. Hang on a second. It's all the same. Dude, but this is blatant. When I was talking about on Discord how Legendary Drops and I had a similar aesthetic for one of our thumbnails, I thought it was pretty cool. Like maybe he'd seen mine and it gave him an idea. It wasn't a one-for-one ripoff. I was like, that's pretty cool, right? That's nuts. Look, check this shit out. Oh my God. Look at this one here. And then this one here. Oh my God, man. Have some self-respect. You lifted a freaking thumbnail. Okay? You didn't even try. I get it. This whole holding your head thing is not original. But, yo, wait a second. Yo, hang on. Dude. But see, I don't even think Legendary Drops copied me. It's just that we were like either on the same wavelength, or my video only got like a couple thousand views. It wasn't like something that blew up and then he decided to copy it. It was just maybe in perusing content, he was inspired by something he saw. I don't know. So he's Sniper Wolf. But he's memeing Kira for using the same pose every time. Maybe, but I don't know, man. To me, that falls into some gray territory. That's kind of, I don't know. It's like, maybe it's different if you know the guy, but anybody else, like, I don't know either one of these channels. I've only discovered these channels because of the Ashes of Creation stuff. So for somebody on the outside looking in, looking at two channels that are using the exact same thumbnail, to me, it just seems kind of slimy. Who used the water dropper to get the same blue? I mean, it is 100% the exact same thumbnail, but he just put himself over Kira. I mean, you can do that, especially if you credit. I mean, maybe he credited Kira in the video. I don't know. No, this he copied, but maybe there was a joke in there. I'm not going to go back and watch the video because I'm sure by now it's old news. I can fix Sniper Wolf. Oh my god, man. Dude, get out. Just get out here. Oh my god, dude. So maybe these two are buddies and he did it all in all good fun, right? Yeah, so I mean, I don't care. I'm not going to get butthurt for somebody else who I don't know. Whatever. I just thought it was interesting because that kind of shit... I always like see that. I'm like, wait a second. I know I've seen this somewhere before. Like, I know I'm not crazy.
With a particular 3-minute segment in my last video. Now, I'm going to go over all of this 3-minute segment again in case you missed it. So in this 3-minute segment, I talk about how Homes.com is reporting that Steven Sharif sold his house on November 17th, 2025.
Wait a second. Dude, list price for his house, $8.5 million. Sold price, $5.5 million. Man lost the man lost $3 million on his house. Estimated equity though was still $4.2 million. Man had an $8.5 million house. Oh my god. Phew. So the devs can't get paid. But Steven's got a house worth $8.5 million. Overpriced his house? Yeah, but still, man, he's still got money. How you doing, Wagon Burner? Hey, you need to get back on writing articles, man. One of us has to. One of these days I'm going to find time for that. And if I don't, you need to.
Sold his house on November 17th, 2025 to his own husband, John Moore, for $5.5 million, a 35% reduction from the asking price. And this was a very common sentiment in the community. People were...
That's odd. Nothing's caught my eye to write about. Hey, fair enough. That actually makes sense. I feel that. He gave his husband the sucky discount.
Presents are the best.
Not shady at all. Oh my god.
It's like this tangible thing that you can point to and
Yo,
say,
McKinney.
"Hey, I love you. This many dollars worth."
Evening Tebow in chat. I tagged you in my Ashes of Creation video this
Oh, right on,
morning.
man. Appreciate it.
Hope you get a chance to take a look, smiley face.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it later. No worries. Absolutely. Appreciate that, man. Thanks for the 5. This is odd, man. This is fishy.
We're talking about this on social media. People were saying that...
Disgusting joke, but I was going to say it's 2 gay dudes and it still somehow smells fishy. God. Oh my god. Okay.
This looks like an asset protection strategy.
I think that's a mole.
And in my video, I say that this looks weird. I'm not really an expert on this, but I mean, it does look weird, right? So I ran this by a family member who is an attorney that is more familiar with these things. And he also said that it was unusual. Fast forward to the next day, and I get this message from Steven. In this message, he claims that no such transaction occurred, and he wants me to change the title of my video and say that the information coming from Homes.com is inaccurate. He also says he would prefer to solve this directly without escalation. And I respond that these claims are not my own. This is not my opinion. This is just what's coming from Homes.com. And then I link him to where he can find the information and show him how to find it. And then I offer to update the title of my video and also give him a pinned comment with his statement.
Dude, something's not right here.
I'm trying to do due diligence. Obviously I don't want to defame him. He later responds.
So the whole Ashes of Creation thing is a very simple story. I can kind of explain it in like a 30-second TLDR here. Basically, it's an MMO, like World of Warcraft, that was kickstarted. They raised like, $3 million back in 2017. The game was in development for that much time, and people spent a lot of money on it to get access to the game to support it. So it generated, I don't know, tens of millions of dollars in revenue, although it cost a lot of money to maintain it and be developed, right? So the studio grew and grew as they added more developers. Then in December last year, they released the game on Steam in early access, still with the idea that the game was being developed. It was still early access, right? It was only on Steam for 6 weeks before the studio shut down. And that's where we are today. People say that they only put the game on Steam to try to get as much money out of it as possible, so then they could just screw over everybody before they shut the studio down. That's like the short version of the story. Steven Sharif is one of the co-founders, and so people are looking at him as if he's basically the villain in all this, because he's the one that said, well, the board kicked me out, but he was like the only board member. And then his husband, I guess, was the other board member. The chief, I don't know if he was the financial officer or what he was. But fuck their own studio.
With, I think just the title and a pinned comment with an overlay during the section, if you are able to, would be fine. Now, this is where I'm a little confused because...
Wait, did Steven respond there? I just think the title and the pinned comment with an overlay during the section, if you're able to would be fine. I don't want you to have to take down the video if you can do those things. Yes, homes.com is user updated, not official record. I'm sure someone made some error. Okay. Who's the bad guy? We're still trying to figure that out. Because Steven, the founder of the studio, co-founder, I guess, he said years ago that there would never be an administrative board. It was always going to be just them, the developers, right? The day that this all broke, he said, I've been ousted by the board. The board is doing unethical things that I don't approve of, but he was supposedly like the only board member. Steven lurking everywhere, YouTube, Discord, etc. But as devs or studio game, you can't make this shit up. Exactly, yeah. It's like he's got time to be like, you know, watching YouTubers making content about him, but his own studio shut down and they can't pay the developers. And I trust Steven, believe all unicorns.
Able to would be fine. Now, this is where I'm a little confused because I was sort of...
Yeah, the same guys went after
statement.
Mind's Eye, exactly.
Generally, when you want somebody to correct the record on something, you say what you want to be corrected and you sort of give your side. He didn't really give me anything. Then he goes on to say that he doesn't want the video to have to be taken down. Then he claims that homes.com is user updated and not official record, and that someone
crazy.
Must have made a mistake. Now,
That's
this
quite a
is
claim.
where I'm very confused because homes.com directly references MLS data. And according to the National Association of Realtors, the MLS is the most accurate, reliable, and comprehensive source of real estate information. At this point, I am out of my depth. So I have to go back to my family member who is an attorney.
Too much pizza,
more
exactly.
familiar with these things. And they tell me that all of this is highly unusual.
Give you his side at his home. Oh my God, man. I don't want any of that side. I'm good, thank you.
But to be fair, everything surrounding Ashes of Creation right now is highly unusual. Fast forward a little bit, and people find out that this information is also available on the San Diego County official public record. Now, to find it, all you need to do is click the link below and type Sharif, space Steven, and this will bring up 3 checkboxes. Don't make the mistake of clicking the checkbox that's marked Sharif Stephen J, as that will only bring you to a list of tax liens. What you want to do is click on the box marked Sharif.
Don't forget the grape soda equilibrium. The whole thing I'm so grossed out by. The entire Epstein thing is just so disgusting.
Stephen, and scroll down past the tax liens, and you'll see at the bottom a deed document. Click on this, and it will bring you to the San Diego County official records document showing that Steven Sharif sold his house to his husband, John Moore. And at this point, I am out of my depths again. And I go back to my family member who has legal experience with these kind of things, and he tells me that California is a strict mandatory disclosure state, meaning that all transactions are required to be public record. So this information should be publicly available by law. And while all this happened, Steven sent me a document from a company called Parcel Quest to exonerate.
Oh man, I thought it was gonna be those same shady people that were allegedly sabotaging Mind's Eye sent him a document. Oh yeah, no, Mad Adam, don't worry, I'm not going to. I have intentionally not gone over the Epstein stuff like ever on stream, and not that I'm like, oh, I'm afraid to talk about it. I've gotten my fill with that stuff, and even like on my second channel, that was designed. Like my second channel is more for like news, entertainment, politics, whatever. It's like I'll do stuff over there. I just still don't want to talk about it. It's just, God, it's so gross. I don't know. Okay, so what's with this document? I want to see this.
Narrate him. And he said that I could spend $15 to check this if I'd like. So I run this document by my family member, this Parcel Quest document, and he thinks it's bizarre. This is a bizarre document. He also says that Parcel Quest gets their information from the California County Assessor, and he finds it odd that the seller information is blanked out. Now, personally, I don't know anything about this. This is not my wheelhouse. I'm not an official source of information on this kind of thing. I'm just referring to the documents that we have right here. But feel free to...
Oh, no, you can say whatever you want to in chat as long as it doesn't, get zapped by YouTube. I'm not here to restrict what you guys talk about in chat. I'm just saying that I'm not going to cover it on stream. You guys are good to chat amongst yourselves. I don't care. Go for it.
You share this with people that are experts. I'm not an expert, but I'm sure there are experts.
Yeah, really nice neighborhood
right now. Or you can share it with somebody that knows, because this is odd, right? At this point, I go back to Steven and ask if he can speak to why Homes.com and the San Diego County official public record are incorrect. And he tells me that someone must have input the MLS information wrong, and then says, as if I didn't have enough fallout from what has happened, this was just the cherry on top. And I follow up further saying, asking specifically about the San Diego County official public record, as that's different from the MLS. The MLS is a private company, and public records are official government documents. However, they both are saying the same thing. I want to make it clear, I am not making these statements personally.
Snowing in Tokyo? Dude, it's been warm as hell here. Not like 50s and 60s, but for Washington state winter, it typically gets down at some point into like the teens and 20s. We're not even going to have snow this year. It's been like sunny the last few days. Supposed to rain tomorrow, of course, for my kids' sports evaluation stuff. But it's like we're going to get away with actually having any snow this year. It's crazy. Found it something files talks about make people are more like kids addicted to spend money. Yes, that is a thing. That is a thing. Apparently, he was massively involved in the idea of pushing monetization, loot boxes, all that kind of stuff. I haven't gone over that myself either. But oh yeah, no one's going to jail. Truth, no, nobody's going to jail. All right, I feel like Steven Sharif is bullshitting on this one. I don't know. This feels really weird.
I am just pointing to what Homes.com, the MLS, and what the San Diego County official public record says. So we're left with two choices. We either believe Steven based off of this document from a company called Parcel Quest, or we go by what Homes.com, the MLS, and the official San Diego County public records say. Luckily for Steven, there are a few things in his favor. Homes.com actually has an office in San Diego, California. How convenient. Steven can just go to their office and present the documents, and surely they will fix this straight away. Number two, the thing working for Steven is that he has us, and we are all fans of Ashes of Creation. We know that Steven's very busy right now, and we can reach out to Homes.com. We can reach out to the MLS, but most importantly, we need to reach out to Jordan Z. Marks, the San Diego County Clerk. We need the state of California to investigate Steven Sharif and clear up these discrepancies and errors. It's absolutely, that's crazy that they have all made these mistakes. And I will say
we're going to bet like $20 that Steven Sharif doesn't contact Homes.com in San Diego to get him to correct this. The thing about the whole Epstein guy, he was just a mathematician turned guy that got paid for consulting for like investment shit, and that's how he started making his money. Why do people start companies in California? I don't know. So buying homes in California, it's that illusion that it's the greatest state in the country because it's California. People have romanticized California for a long time because it used to be the beaches, the beautiful women, the glamour of Hollywood and all this other stuff. Now, people realize Hollywood's just a degenerate cesspool, but for a long time, California was like, yeah, government agencies being thorough. Is this guy living under the rock? MLM guy is shady, say it ain't so. My lady friend's in Calgary. It's warmer than in Jersey. Yeah, but Jersey is like worse than Washington. You guys get crazy, crazy weather over there. If I hear San Diego one more time, I'm going to cry.
Final and third thing working for Steven is that the amount of damage that Homes.com, the MLS, and the San Diego County official public records have done to his reputation.
Do I drink beer? Once in a while. Lightning Kugels, summer shandy, in any good Hefeweizen. In the winter, I like a Guinness once in a while. I can't drink dark beer in the summer. It's not appealing. I'll drink like a Budweiser or whatever. Corona's okay, but it's got to be on tap. Can't do it out of a can or in bottles. Yeah, still not great. I'm not watching anything Game of Thrones related. I just don't really care about Game of Thrones. Just finished season 2 of Fallout. I know a lot of people hate the show, but I found it more or less enjoyable. I actually picked up the Witcher books, and I've been reading through the first book when I'm not like watching just reruns of TV and stuff when I go to bed. So, so I watch occasionally TV shows and stuff. Some good, some terrible. It just depends on the show. Yeah, it's overrated and expensive. Exactly. California is not all it's meant up to be. You're behind Oblivion. It's all good. Don't worry about it. Can't stop looking at the guy behind this guy. Yeah, he's got a really interesting, very, very sterile, very bland background, which is fine. It's got like pictures of him and his wife and kids, I assume, so that's cool. Dog treats here on his shelf. It's like, this is very much like a very minimalist approach to, doing YouTube, which I can respect that, not having a whole bunch of shit behind you.
It is immense. And I'm not a lawyer, but I think
it's only the first 3 books, dude. It's just the first 3.
And I would guess that Steven Sharif has a fully funded legal team. This was my final correspondence with Steven Sharif, saying that he had no idea why the San Diego County official public records say what they say. And then he tells me, all I know is that we just sold our home to our neighbor and that my video was inaccurate. He also says that we'll know more by today or Monday. And then he asks me to keep our DMs off the record.
Yeah, the weather.
And then he says something pretty bizarre, in my opinion. And that is that...
All right, DB, you rest your eyes, buddy.
Nobody wants to hear from him.
I'll try not to be.
Until there is an official record of facts. Now, this is where I disagree with you, Steven. I think there's a lot of people that want to hear from you. I don't think they want to wait till Monday. I think there's a lot of people that have been wanting to hear from you, Steven. So, if anyone here is an expert on this, please comment down below. Feel free to send me a direct message on Twitter or Discord. And guys, we need to do our best to help our buddy Steven out. So let's reach out to Homes.com.
Dude, this guy's salty. Yeah, the Billie Eilish situation's hilarious. Although, it seems like the whole thing with Billie Eilish and the lawyer trying to get her evicted from her house or whatever, that was all like a meme. It wasn't a real thing. Still funny. Like, I still find the whole thing funny, but it wasn't exactly like people were like, oh, she's going to get evicted and they're going to give it to natives. Nah, that's not happening. Feed the whole parasocial thing. I'm not going to be selling my bathwater, man. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be selling feet pics. I'm not going to be doing any of that e-girl stuff, man. Not happening. He offered the sausage for silence. Yeah. Why would you reach out to somebody and say, I need you to change your YouTube video title. I need you to change some stuff, pin some stuff. Don't share my DMs. Don't tell anybody that I said this is... Guy's a painting of himself. I know, that's kind of odd. That's a little weird.
MLS and the San Diego County clerk. I'll leave links down below to things that are useful to this. And let them know about these discrepancies, because this is crazy that all of these things are wrong. Like that's absolutely insane. If anybody has any other suggestions on who we should contact to help resolve this matter, please leave it in the comments down below. And in case anybody was wondering, we do live in the era of Photoshop, so I don't want anyone to think these messages are fake. So I physically recorded my Discord client with my phone.
Yeah, or his wife had it done or something. And so that I can understand. Personally, if somebody, like if my wife had a painting done for me or whatever, I wouldn't want it like like front and center, back behind me. I guess be front and rear, or back and rear, or whatever. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? In fact, my wife actually had my tattoo artist commission a painting for me for our anniversary years ago. I don't know where it's at. I think it's in the garage in a tote still. It needs to be unpacked. Smell a guilty bitch in here? Yeah.
See my message history with Steven here. All of these messages are real. You can clearly see I'm in the Discord client. And yeah, just in case, I know Discord messages can...
Wait, this guy's got 200,000 subs. And he recorded it with his phone to show that, hey guys, I want to show that this is real. This is his avatar in live action and all that. That's fine. You also could have just done it on like a screen capture on your computer. Like scrolled through all this stuff, did the exact same thing. I guess doing it on another device proves that he's not faking it, I guess, sure. It just looks terrible. I hate recording things on a screen on a phone.
Client. And yeah, just in case, I know Discord messages.
You can't what? You can't screen record Discord?
So we've got a physical record as well. And to Steven, I'm sorry that I shared our direct messages. That is not usually my style, and I apologize.
Oh, screen capture's editable as well?
Trust.
Okay, fair enough.
However, there's been a lot of that going around recently. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a good one.
I've been on the other side.
That's really interesting. I wasn't actually expecting the whole house sale to be like the main part of the video. Wow. That is really interesting. All right. So that was from Zyback TV over on YouTube. Video he just put out 2 hours ago. This guy's salty. He certainly, but you know what? If let's say he was a supporter of the game, I don't know if he was or wasn't. I'd be salty too. I get it. It's all fake and stupid. Plus, all celebs and singers just can't pay attention to that guy. Sorry. Yeah. No. So speaking of singers, I don't know. People are really the whole. Not to get political, because it's more about like people accepting politics from a certain person. Billie Eilish says something political, everyone claps and they're like, oh yay, so stunning and brave. And then people on the right do the same thing. But you only hear people on the right saying, oh, we don't care about the opinions of celebrities. And then they have a celebrity say something they agree with and they're all like based, right? This whole Kid Rock thing, the whole halftime show that TPUSA is putting on with Kid Rock. I'm like, Kid Rock's a piece of shit. Kid Rock is a lifelong piece of shit. His music sucks. I'm sorry, you might like his music. I think it sucks. I'm not going to be watching Kid Rock. I'm also not going to be watching Bad Bunny. They're both retards, okay? I have no desire to watch either one of them. But this whole, oh, if you don't like our artist, then it's just so stupid, man. The whole thing. But digging stuff on someone's house because you overspent on a video game. No, but Equilibrium, it is interesting. I mean, okay, think about it. Let's say it's not a clerical error, okay? Let's say it's not a clerical error. And it's more about the fact that it's like, okay, this guy, his studio shuts down, the game gets delisted, none of the devs get paid, everyone gets laid off, the whole thing is a mess. But he sells his house to his husband, right around the time this all happens. It seems weird, man. It's a lot of gray and stupid, exactly. Same with Star Trek and Robert Retardo. No, so, okay. Prime example. I saw Shinedown live in 2015, 2016, whenever Trump was running against Hillary Clinton, right? The wife and I went and saw Shinedown 2 days before the election. Not a word was mentioned by anyone in the band about politics. That was crazy. Went to a concert 2 days before an election, saw 6 a.m., I can't remember the opener, but there were some really good bands. Five Finger Death Punch was supposed to be after Shinedown, but we had to get home because babysitter, all that stuff, right? But 2 days before Hillary versus Trump, not a word about politics or anybody on the stage. Just a fantastic concert, right? So Shinedown was supposed to be at this Kid Rock, they're calling it a MAGA concert thing later this year, and they decided not to go. They're like, they made a statement. We don't want to be getting into politics. We just want to be, there for our entire audience. You guys are our boss. We're just going to nope out of this one. We love you guys. We're not trying to make any big statements. We don't want to be divisive, whatever. I have no problem with that. As a band, you can make that decision. Kid Rock has aligned himself as more of a political commentator, kind of like Hulk Hogan did towards the end of his life. Then he's more like well known now for being the right wing. Look, Kid Rock did the whole thing with Bud Light, right? Where he shot the case of Bud Light with his machine gun. And then 2 weeks later, he was caught drinking a Bud Light at like a concert or a venue. Some shit like that. It was all fake. It's all fake and gay. So my point is, people are attacking Shinedown because they're like, oh, you guys are woke now. And it's like, guys, they just don't want to get in the middle of this shit, you know? I really can't blame them. I don't. They're just performers, you know? I don't want to hear, yes, is it cool that Aaron Lewis says, you know, fuck Biden? Okay, cool. But I want to go see Aaron Lewis because I grew up listening to Stained, you know? That's what I want to listen to. I love Aaron Lewis's music. That's what is it cool that he agrees with me? Okay, sure, whatever. But I also don't run around saying fuck Biden. I don't. I just never have. So I don't know. Most people do it for the money. I just think people accept pandering if it's on their side, and then they criticize the other side for people pandering. And it's like, guys, everyone on both sides does it. Okay. Like everybody wants everybody to be on their side. Personally, I just want entertainers to entertain, you know? Stained is gay. How dare you? How dare you? You should go back and look at my old MySpace page. I had Epiphany by Stained, the music video with the dude from Titanic. What was his name? Zane something? Whatever it was. Billy Zane. Yeah, he was in the music video for Epiphany by Stained. I had that and Reliant K. I had a couple of Reliant K music videos on my MySpace page back in the day. That's how old I am, guys. I was on MySpace. I have been on Facebook for 19 damn years. That's how old I am. Horizon the cartoon. Oh, yeah. Ricky Gervais did that. Ricky Gervais retweeted his post about that from like 4 years ago. And he's like, guys, they're not listening. If you're not with me, then you're against me. No, not at all. No, I'm very much the opposite. Very much the opposite. Christian rock. Oh, there is some good Christian rock. I mean, Skillet was a good example. Cutlass was a good example. There were good Christian bands too. But Reliant K as a punk band, alternative, a great band. Loved Reliant K. Guess I could write an article on Horizon. I mean, what you could, but at this point, what could be said that hasn't already been said? Oh no, Oblivion Shinedown is incredible in concert. I've seen some cool bands. I've seen some really good bands, but Shinedown was probably my favorite concert of all time that I've ever been to. I mean, they were phenomenal. Great concert. Absolutely awesome. So I love Reliant K, man. To this day, I'll still listen to Reliant K. I don't give two Fs at all, man. I'll still listen to Reliant K. All right, so moving on to Chungus Diabetes. Here we go. Yeah, no, the whole thing with Kid Rock, I'm just like, guys, Kid Rock is a pig. Kid Rock's not really a right winger. He's not a conservative. The dude's a scumbag. And I hate his music. Creed's playing again. Yeah, oh, dude. Oh, okay. So Creed, saw them last year. Amazing, awesome. Definitely not as good as it would have been had I seen them back in their prime. Shinedown was still a little better as far as like just the actual experience of the concert itself. Shinedown was just kind of edges them out based on just the entire experience. But Creed was awesome. Getting to see Creed last year, that was fantastic. Not gonna lie, it was top 10 concerts. Watch Nintendo's partnership direct. I did not, dude. I didn't see anything. I don't typically watch a whole lot of the Nintendo Direct stuff unless there's like some. I watched the 35th anniversary of Legend of Zelda Direct. What was that, like 2 years ago or something? And I was desperately hoping, like I knew it wasn't going to happen, but I was hoping that they were going to have like an Ocarina of Time remake. And yeah, it didn't happen. We got Skyward Sword instead, you know, about Woodstock. Dude, I don't know shit about Woodstock, man. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of like the old like 70s rock bands and stuff. Oh, there are some awful Christian bands there, but there are some really good ones too. It's kind of like, oh God, guys, growing up, going to church in the 90s, Christian movies, oh my God, some of the worst things ever. And yet you go back to the old NES days, the old original Nintendo days, and one of the best games I had on my original Nintendo was a Bible story game where you play as Moses, Noah, and there was one other Bible story that you play through. I can't even remember. It was so good. It was a great game. Should make Ghost perform the Super Bowl halftime show. I've heard that name thrown out there. I don't know much of their music. Is Ghost a... I know that they're a Christian, like a band of Christians, but are they... Like, what is their ethnicity? What is their style? Metal, I assume, but you're never going to see a metal artist at the Super Bowl, man. It's never going to happen. Jay-Z basically, like, you know, Diddy 2.0. He's got control of the music selections for the Super Bowl for forever. He's never going to have a, normal artist ever again. Trainwreck is about Woodstock 99 or something. I don't know what you're talking about. Doom clone game? Doom? What are you talking about, Doom? Is there a Doom clone game? There's Concord. And again, not in gameplay in any way, but definitely in design of characters. So this is footage from Horizon Hunters Gathering, okay? This thing is, I don't know. I first off, I hate the art style, but that's just like the least of this thing's problems. Keep thinking of Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah, this is very much not even connected to Horizon Zero Dawn. Jay-Z's the guy who was besties with P. Diddy, Harvey Weinstein, and Epstein. Yeah. Wait, the Bible game was a Doom clone game on the Super Nintendo? No, this was an original NES game. This was the console before the Super Nintendo. I don't have the games anymore, which sucks. But I'm pretty sure this was original Nintendo I'm thinking of. All right, so here you go. Here's Horizon Hunters Gathering.
Of the old world came machines.
Mariana Cross. I'll pull that up later.
For ages, they were the guardians of the natural world, and they turned against us.
Well, yeah, Equilibrium, I think you mentioned it the last time that the game that, the Light of Motirum game that Tencent decided to make as their version of Horizon Zero Dawn got completely destroyed. It's buried and dead, basically, at this point. I don't know that the game's actually going to ever get seen by anybody. That game was essentially their version of Horizon, and instead we get this slop, you know? Yeah, Peg Keg, exactly. Dialogue is ass, man. I said it earlier in the stream. I don't know, because I was talking about High Guard, and my big problem with the High Guard is that I think a lot of the dialogue is really cringy, right? It's just really poorly done. But is it just all modern dialogue? Is it all voice acting? What is going on lately where like all the voice lines in games just come across so cheesy as hell? NES game was Bible Adventures. That's what it was. Yeah. I wish I still had that one. Not that I have an NES player anymore. Light mogs this game. It would have been amazing. It probably would have been awesome. Sony doesn't care about burning money. They have a missive to double down on the DEI slot propaganda. Alloy could screw in a screw with those jaws. Yeah, pretty much. Millennial writing. Is that what it is?
We have to fight back. And to do that,
Horizon's the most mid franchise on PlayStation. Well, like I was saying earlier in the stream, they might be, like, the games might be fine. As games, this is a terrible spot to pause. I'm looking at gray armpit hair. Horizon, like I know the first game for sure, a lot of people liked. It might just be that fact that, you know, people first tried it because it was an exclusive for PlayStation, and then it kind of gained traction. And people were like, hey, this game's pretty cool. It's got big, you know, robot dinosaur monster things and everything else, and it's kind of this weird sci-fi tribal kind of stuff. So a lot of people probably checked it out. But for me personally, given the fact that it was a PlayStation exclusive at first, I couldn't have given two shits about it. Had no feeling about it whatsoever. Now that I think these games are now cross-platform, at least on PC, right? I still don't care. Now that I could play it, I wouldn't bother. Django Unchained. I think Kilted Cajun is the one that said this guy looks like a murderer hobo, and I'm like, that's a pretty damn good description, man. Yeah, after they made her gay in the DLC, exactly. Well, they did the same thing to Ellie in Last of Us 1, right? They had DLC that made it that made her lesbian or gay or whatever. Now none of them know how to write properly because the ones that were supposed to train them were labeled as racists and bigots. Yeah. Sony not caring won't make it work. Someone posted on X about this game comparing to Tifa on Final Fantasy VII. They have to censor Tifa, and yet we get a fat woman. Yeah, and the fat woman's not censored. She's got a lot, like, if you were into big women, she's got big ass titties, but like, it comes with the whole package. She's like 400 pounds, you know?
Soldiers will always hold the line.
Also, why did they give the dude who looks like he was ripped straight out of a 70s, like, adaptation of a caveman movie, they gave the black guy with the crazy hair, the bell-bottom tribal pants. It almost feels like they were going out of their way to be like stereotypical as much as possible. I don't know. Some videos of gameplay. Yeah, my video I covered this last night has actual gameplay footage because I used the entire developer trailer. It's like a 9-minute trailer as the background footage. So there's some gameplay in there. It just looks like, you know, typical 3-player co-op, multiplayer live action combat. It doesn't look like anything special to me personally.
And mercenaries.
Cornel West, yeah. Yeah, this character here is a beauty.
Now and then. Infiltrators.
Well, Avernum, I said this. I posted a screenshot, and this is not meant to be mean, you know? This is not meant to be mean. This is one of those things where it's like, okay, so you have the character who's clearly overweight, morbidly obese, and then you amputate one of her legs, and you don't even give her like robotic legs or legs that make sense, like, okay, well, she can still do these things because X, Y, or Z. It's a straight up like stump on her leg, right? And not even considering the fact that it'd be really hard for her to move, it's like you gave the character most likely to get type 2 diabetes an amputated leg. Well, it just feels like a parody, man. You know? Wait till you are all forced to read a script about a transgender vampire and offer feedback. I mean, that would kind of make sense. Yeah, not okay with the tit to fat ratio. Yeah. It's their attempt to decrease her weight. Asmin reacts to Kamala. I saw the Kamala thing. I think I saw that he reacted to it, but I didn't actually look at it yet. This game is poor parody and travesty. We need real third game, not this cheap spin-off. Anybody remembers that Lego one that flopped hard? Yeah, the Lego one really flopped hard, didn't it? But again, I don't know, guys. So one of those really interesting things from, not to keep giving Big Fry a shout out, but he was talking about it on his stream today, was the fact that the average gamer, as you would call them, the average customer for, like, you know, the gaming market is guys in their mid 30s, late 30s, you know, that 28 to 45 range. And most of those people don't want to play games that look like this. Most of them don't want to play ugly fat women. It's just a reality, right? And then again, you also have the Lego games where it's like, I'm not going to touch a Lego game ever. I don't like the aesthetic. I don't like the games. I find the Lego games boring. My kids had them on the Switch and on the Xbox when they were all growing up and we first started playing games together. I'd play like the Lego Hobbit with them or the Lego superhero games. That was fun. Whatever, it was fine. I will never play those games on my own. Not something I have any desire to touch. So it very well could be, not knowing that the market that exists that's out there is, first off, Horizon is an exclusively PlayStation IP. People who aren't PlayStation first typically don't think about Horizon. Then you put it into Lego form, which again appeals to a very niche audience. Sure, Lego games can be successful, but there's a shitload of them. It's an oversaturated market, you know? The GTA San Andreas, you can make the character fat and he goes slow. Fable did the same thing, at least with your character eating a lot and getting fat. I don't remember if it affected your stamina or whatnot. Fat guy, but it's actually good. Are we allowed to play as a fat guy? Because I'm seeing a fat guy, then it's a bad game. Like, why? Well, part of it's perception. Part of it you have to remember, as a society, especially in America, largely, we tolerate fat men a lot better than we tolerate fat women. It's just, unfortunately, the truth. It's the reality. And especially in a game where it's an action combat game, you can have, look at, for example, I didn't love what the character looked like in God of War Ragnarok, but the character of Thor in God of War Ragnarok was a very large fat man, but you could also see him splitting some heads and being Thor because it's believable when it's a man, right? Because he still has the inherent strength and masculinity of a male character. With a 400-pound woman, there's nothing intimidating about that. There's nothing there. The Lord of the Ring one was pretty fun. I think it was I can't remember how many, was it actually 3 of those, like the movies? Yeah, as an Xbox guy, don't get me started on Fable. Well, you don't like moral subjectivity? You don't like that there's objectively good and bad things? Oh, man. It's about projecting themselves to the power and humiliation of what OG gamers like. Well, yeah, and that's very well could be the case, but it's like if you're trying for diversity and you go, well, there's plenty of characters to choose from, what's the point of making the character that nobody wants to play? But a 400-pound woman isn't going to run very fast, man. Fat women are terrifying. Overweight males are bashed while females should be worshipped. Okay, yeah. So again, acceptable bashing online is bald men, fat men, short men, poor men, ugly men, all these things. These are all things that are allowed to be criticized online. It's like you go, I don't like this movie. I don't like this actress. I don't think she's that great. I don't like her music, whatever. Somebody comes back with, post your face. You're fat. You're old. You're ugly. You're short. This and that. You're bald, right? So again, we have this double standard in society where, ironically, fat women are one of those protected groups that's kind of held up on a pedestal, although they're held up by like a crane. But fat men, where fat men have existed in society and they've still been like, and now if it's a 600-pound man, he's not going to be swinging an axe. He's not going to be able to lift himself. But we're talking if it's just a fat guy, you could still have a sense of believability that a fat man is still able to do some damage. Okay, there have been some big boys that have gone into battle and been very, very good at it. The same cannot be true said for like a 300-pound woman. Look at defensive linemen. They're 350 pounds. Now, a lot of that's muscle, but a lot of it's fat too. Physics will propel her towards gravity. Yeah. Some weight is more tolerated on women. Yeah, people in general are going to be mean to fatties, okay? That's just reality. However, it is glamorized. Let's not say tolerated. Let's say obesity on females, on the female form, by society, by magazines, by online journals, all that kind of stuff, is glamorized. Again, how many times have you seen an article or a headline about a fat woman? It's never a fat man, it's always a fat woman, about how healthy at any weight, healthy at any body type, right? It's always a woman. Yeah, unless she rolls on you. Exactly.
Hide in the dark.
Oh God, that's terrible, DC.
And champions.
And then even the character that is fine, looks like a girl, it's feminine, clothes or whatever. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's fine. Rainbow hair. I don't understand the freaking rainbow hair, man. Like, who is this game marketed at? I don't understand. Always mocked for being skinny, now I get made fun of because I'm developing a little belly in my 30s. You can never win. Yeah, Avernum, I'm almost 40. Crohn's and all that, high metabolism, always working on my feet. I will never be fat before I die. And I swear to God, you can say, oh, wait till you're 50. No, guys, I truly will not be fat before I die. However, the older you get a little pooch, and you can work out, you can do your ab workouts and crunches and everything else. But especially with me, where I don't give a shit what I eat because I don't gain weight, yeah, you get a little squishy in the tummy, Some days you look a little bloated, especially if you're a skinny guy. You can get dogged for anything, okay? My daughter was noticing. I don't look at the back of my head, but my daughter was noticing that, sure, I've got a big forehead, receding hairline, 40-year-old man. That's what happens with life. My daughter noticed the back of my head. Apparently, I'm starting to have a little bit of thinning. I'm like, oh, don't you do that. Don't you go back there. They want that Overwatch fame? Trying to get that Fortnite demographic? Yeah. How come they don't have bigger than a cup B size? I mean, yeah. Well, there is... The only character that has obviously large boobs is the very fat character. There is the kind of goth chick later on. Yeah, this girl's more of a tomboy. You can definitely tell that's what they were going for. But tomboys don't typically have bright-colored, rainbow-striped hair. This thing.
Whose stories?
This thing I just don't understand. Is it like a human ram? Like a guy with a rocket hammer that you can ride that hammer? I mean, that could be fine, but I don't know. For me, nothing about this game is jiving for me. Aiming for the map? Oh my god. Tarzan. But he's got like goat horns or something, like a ram or whatever.
And legends. Looking for one last shot.
Well, all the characters are kids except the really old man here. Your white male representation is either kind of the goat guy, I guess, or this dude here. 44 on the 24th. I actually told my sister today I'm going to start hitting her treadmill to get rid of my beer gut. You can start drinking less beer, but I don't think that's going to happen.
The last line of defense.
Junkrat, is that a character from Overwatch?
For those who need it most. Made up.
See, okay, that's a kind of cool looking character, I guess, but still looks like Fortnite. The problem is that it's just not appealing to the average person. That's the thing too. I was talking about this morning. With that age bracket, the average gamer being a man in his, let's say, mid-chunk of his adulthood life before you get to senior years, right? So let's just say ballpark 35-year-old man. A 35-year-old man wants to play games that are typically darker, grittier, more realistic, shooters, grimdark, Souls-like, whatever genre you're looking at, Metroidvania types, or strategy games, RTS, third-person combat, first-person combat, extraction shooters. Those games that just have more of a... even if they're a fantasy game, even if they are 100% fantasy, even if they're magic, if there's, death-defying, like, impossible things that you can do in the game that are still more grounded in a, let's say a harsher, more gritty world, right? Most... us guys in my age bracket don't want to play shit that looks like this. It's just that simple. Even if the game is fine. Yeah, Korean. She looks meh. It's like she is the Horizon Hunters Gather. By the way, the name is ass. The name is complete and total ass. Marketing your game, it should not be hard for the customer to remember what your game is called. Okay, that's marketing 101. Don't make a game that's either a mouthful or confusing and hard to remember. But yeah, she's just like the high guard equivalent of this game. Just like, okay, cool, I guess. I don't hate it. It's whatever. They want the Asian market not insulted? Yeah. Yeah, serious tone story too. And it doesn't mean that every game has to be gritty and gory and like Doom levels of grotesque or Turok or those kind of things. But you need to have something grounded. We like things that are a little bit more And not again, not realistic. It doesn't have to be completely okay. Guy gets shot one time, he bleeds out and dies because that's what happens in real life. But grounded more within the universe that it's created in, I guess. $5 skin in League, yeah. Had a grounded universe and then Unicorn stuck its horn through it, pretty much. Looks like it. She's from Big Hero 6. I would say, yeah. And Big Hero 6 is good. Big Hero 6 is good as a kid's movie. My kids really like Big Hero 6. I thought it was a really good movie. But it was a kid's movie, you know?
Of the greatest hunters in the land. This
Man, she started an earthquake when them boulders started shaking. Motorstorm, I never played. Like, when she puts that weapon down, that scythe down, and them things go whoosh, it's like, okay, so we know that jiggle physics work, but you're only going to give them to the 400-pound character, you know?
it's Hunter's Gathering.
Yeah, what the hell, man? What the hell were they thinking? Oh my God. Yeah, the announcement trailer got completely destroyed. Let's get an update real quick here. Dude, 17,000 upvotes to 58,000 downvotes. And again, they're gonna say it's a hate campaign. They're gonna say it's a smear campaign. Oh, they're gonna jump on board with Mind's Eye and say, oh, we have a malicious hate campaign against us too. It's them damn whatever. It's the Russians, I guess. I don't know. I'm curious though. I want to do something. I have not checked this in real time. I'm gonna put in the name of this game, and I'm gonna look for news on this game, and see if there's any stories about this, because I'm very curious to see how the media is going to try to spin this. Interesting. Okay. Damn Russians, exactly, or Chinese bots or whatever, exactly. They were thinking to begin with, yeah. Jeff Keighley has got horrible taste, man. Yeah, BK, I put my meme out there, my Kermit meme, and then freaking Asmongold had to come and comment Concord 4 on Jeff Keighley, man. And now my meme is like the second most liked post. It was the most liked reply. Damn it, Asmongold. Let me see here. Oh my God, Kotaku calls it a colorful 3-player co-op. Yeah, we're so heading east when it comes to buying games. Yeah. Here's the other crazy part. I didn't realize Guerrilla Games was the studio behind Killzone. How is it possible that Killzone and this thing that we just saw were made by the same studio? Just crazy. The Herald of the End Times and the Four Concords. Well, okay, so for Concords, right? I don't know that Marathon is going to be part of that trilogy, guys. And I'm somebody who, I hate the look of Marathon. I have no desire to buy it. I think people are glazing it because it's a Sony, studio game. I think Marathon is just going to be meh, whatever. But I fully believe the game could hit 100,000 concurrent players on Steam. I truly believe that because there is a legitimate amount of excitement and hype for the game, whether it's warranted or not. So Marathon might not be Concord, you know? It might avert that. It might have done enough to pivot away from that. But we still have the way that High Guard's been received. You still got this dog shit coming out. You still got games like Fair Game that are supposed to come out at some point. Killzone was fire. Yeah, I was a Halo guy. I didn't play PlayStation games, but Killzone always looked good. I remember wishing that Killzone was an Xbox or whatever game because it looked cool to me. Where's all the money coming from? I don't know. I found out the guy with the horns in Horizon Hunter's Gathering looks like one character from the Croods movie. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Kind of a caveman looking guy. Killzone 2 and 3, but damn 2 was dark. When Marathon drops are going to be talking about how High Guard plays better. No, man, I'm sorry. I do not like anything I've seen out of Marathon. There's nothing about Marathon visually that I want to play. But I don't think it's going to be the biggest flop ever. I think it has a chance at avoiding that actual moniker of being a Concord-like failure. All right, so all I can find so far, PC Games End, Horizon Hunter's Gathering is a painful reminder of losing Dauntless, and one former dev says it's doing everything I wanted to do. So again, we're already starting with the glazing pretty early on. From Creative Block, I'm not sure who this actual outlet is. I've never really seen this much more than like once before. Horizon's colorful new look sparks strong opinions. The art style of Horizon Hunter's Gathering has divided fans. No shit, Sherlock. Then you got this one here. Horizon Hunter's Gathering reveal has one key thing gamers are not liking. This is from Indie 100. It's funny that Aloy, whatever her name is, she almost looks better here than she did in the second Horizon game from what I've seen of it. PlayStation has revealed a new upcoming Horizon game. It's not going well online. While free-to-play mobile and PC massively online games, let's see, have been announced. Oh, wait, there's another Horizon game that's free-to-play. So this one's going to be a premium game. This is going to be something you have to purchase. Hunter's Gathering is the multiplayer game Guerrilla has been rumored to be working on for a while. It will be canon to the main storyline, and it's set in the post-apocalyptic world Horizon's renowned for. Instead of incredibly realistic visuals that place Horizon games as some of the best looking out there, this time Guerrilla has opted for a cartoon style. And the majority of gamers online are not that keen on it. I mean, to be fair, I don't think the cartoon style is the only thing this game has going against it. I think in general, the Horizon franchise is just kind of its own thing. It's there, it's had success, people either like it or just don't care. So I don't know, man. Hitching your wagon to a game like this in the Horizon universe and then changing the art style so drastically. What is the Concord 3? So Concord 1 was Concord. Concord 2 is essentially Highguard because of the way the game was hyped up by Jeff Keighley. It launched with 97,000 players on Steam, and now it can barely scratch between 5,000 and 8,000 players at one point. So Highguard 2 was not nearly as bad of a game as Concord at all. It just, unfortunately, it was a terrible launch. The game wasn't ready. It was undercooked. It needed more time. Concord 3, if we're going chronologically, is Marathon, because Marathon is the game that was caught with art theft. It was caught looking dull, bland, unimaginative. Nobody in the playtest thought the game was any good when they had it in beta and all this stuff. So Concord 3 will be Marathon when it comes out next month if it fails to impress and get enough sales. Concord 4 is either this game or Fair Game, which is another Sony live-action extraction game that's been pushed back and probably is never going to come out. I don't think at this point Fair Game is actually ever going to be released. In fact, let me look this up real quick while we're talking about it. I think Fair Game is dead, guys. I think that they're just waiting to make the announcement. I think it's actually canceled. What's the latest news on this game? Looks like the latest article on this game is from December. Nope, that's not even it. There's like no news about this game at all. That's insane, guys. One of the only recent articles from GameSpot: PS5 live service game Fair Game loses another key developer. Game's director has left. Yeah, woman that helped found the studio, Jade Raymond, left the company in May. The game was then delayed to 2026 after a playtest proved unfavorable. Guys, I'm telling you, I played a game like Fair Game, and it was Hyenas from Sega, and it was terrible. They put $70 million into that game. They opened a playtest. I joined the playtest, and the game was shit. It was at the beginning of all these games coming out with like the drag queens, the trans, all this stuff, and they had all that crap in the game, and they yanked the plug on the game before it even launched in the beta. Concord Grape Jelly is the best, man. More live service games than I have nose hairs, for real. There are 5 Concords now. Essentially, it really depends. It really is going to depend on how the games are received. Aren't they close to $1 billion wasted dollars on all these titles? Easily, because it was rumored that Concord was a money pit of around $400 to $600 million, And that doesn't even include the other games. For example, Sony has canceled a bunch of live service games, and they have more in the pipeline still. They still have, after they canceled a few of them, there was a, looking at example, not Sony, but Ubisoft. Ubisoft has had to cancel multiple live service games, either ones that they had already launched or ones that they had already spent time working on that they just scrapped. The game's dead. It's not announced that it's dead, but there's been no update on it. There has been literally no update on Fair Game in, from what I can tell, months, you know?
I love you. This many dollars worth.
Yes, 5 Concords before GTA 6.
We got 5 Concords before GTA 6. And to be fair, GTA 6 isn't even a game I care about. I don't care. I don't care about any GTA game. You can love the games, you can hate the games. It makes no difference to me. Enjoy them, whatever. Yo, Smeg!
Absolutely not.
5 gifties. Holy crap, dude.
I enjoy being liked. I have to be liked.
No, I didn't play Fair Game. I played Hyenas. Hyenas was a game very much like what we saw with the release trailer of Fair Game. Fair Game is advertised as like a 3-person co-op extraction shooter. Hyenas was that exact same model from a different studio. Characters looked a lot the same. It was very much the crazy, weird-looking, off-the-wall, diverse characters and stuff. And Sega pulled the plug on Hyenas before the game even went into like beta. That was years ago, before I was even doing YouTube videos. I just joined the beta because I wanted to give it a try for the playtest. I don't know anybody who's played Fair Game. They did a playtest for it, but apparently it didn't go well. I imagine it was probably a lot like Hyenas. Yo, Smeg, thank you for the 5 gifted, dude. You're awesome. Oh, you hit Tekla right on. I don't care about GTA 6 either. It's just a funny meme. Yeah, I mean, people are gonna love it. It's gonna do well. It's gonna make money. People are gonna either love it or hate it. They're gonna say, I hate this about it or I love this about it. You know, GTA is GTA, man. And before GTA 6 becomes Concord 6. No, man. GTA 6, I know that most things in life are not really too big to fail. How many service games is Sony making? You know, that's a great question. That is a truly, since we've been talking about this for a couple of videos and streams, how many live service games? How many live service games are there? No. Games does Sony have? So AI says Sony initially aimed to release 12 live service games by March 2026, but due to quality concerns and cancellations, this plan has been significantly reduced, with only 6 now expected by that deadline. As of late 2025, only Helldivers 2 has seen significant success, with several, including Concord, being canceled or delayed. So yeah, key titles obviously Helldivers 2, Marathon, and Fair Game. How can Fair Game be a key title? My God, I want the money that these people are spending on stuff. Approximately 7 or 8 projects were canceled or delayed as of late 2025. Yeah, so it reduced its target from 12 to 6 to ensure higher quality. Yeah, here, I'll pull it up for you to see. It doesn't have specifics. Again, this is just an AI overview, and AI is known to have errors and stuff in there. Tabulation of information and all that, but that's the general gist, is all that. If I make liver service is an interesting one. Live service with characters of all spectrums, will I get hundreds of millions? I'll do it. Dude, honestly, at this point, I believe you kind of have to know somebody. You kind of have to know someone. Or have a name already in there, you know? Too big to fail, they said about Call of Duty Black Ops 7, and look how that turned out. I know truth, but the thing is, let's be honest, Call of Duty has been getting a bum rap, not that they don't deserve it, for a long time. They've got a bad reputation for putting out way too many games that aren't meeting up to expectations. Whereas, I mean, GTA, guys, it's GTA. I say that as somebody who has no affection for GTA at all. I don't care about GTA. I have no opinion on GTA. It is what it is. But I truly think GTA might be one of those things that is just truly too big to fail. I get it. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think I will be. What was this one? So Detective Seeds, a PlayStation, as I remember, if he platinums trophies and talks gaming, yeah, he's a Sony fanboy, says, I have played Horizon Hunter's Gathering. If you like the franchise, keep your eyes on it. We'll be able to say more later in the year. That sounds an awful lot like what people were saying during the embargo for Highguard after they got flown out to play Highguard, and then they were like, Oh yeah, I played High Guard. I can't say anything about it right now. The AI overview put in the poor performance of Concord at the end. Yeah, exactly. Pokemon's too big. Yeah, Lugia, exactly. Pokemon currently is too big to fail. 7 or 8 service games is in the making, more Concords in the making. Of course, not all games are Concords. Oh yeah, exactly. Not all games are going to fail as here's the thing. Individual studios that have different people running them will have a better grasp of how to manage their budgets and what customers might actually want. So, prime example, hang on a second. Where is this at? I just downloaded a demo that I was going to stream tonight if we had enough time. This guy right here. It's a game called Morbid Metal. It is from a developer known as Screen Juice. I've never heard of them. And published by Ubisoft, okay? Now, I don't know if a game like this is going to appeal to the vast majority of people. It's definitely up there with, again, the games like we've seen a lot of, I'm not going to say Ninja Gaiden, but like, you know, those kind of combat games, Devil May Cry, that kind of stuff, First Berserker, Stellar Blade, Dark Souls type stuff. So that being said, just because this is a Ubisoft game doesn't mean it's not going to have the potential to be good, you know? Do we not have audio? Where's audio?
That is built for intense combo-driven combat. You play as an advanced AI, trapped inside a deadly simulation.
And there's a demo of this on Steam right now.
Mission: explore its beautiful and brutal iterations, grow stronger, and prove your worth to your creator. You'll control up to 3 characters. It's a bit like
Power World's an
switching
honest
weapons in a
Pokemon,
shooter,
yeah, for
except
sure.
Here, you're switching full-on playstyles. Each character has their own unique combat style and active abilities, which are unlocked as you explore the simulation. You can even chain attacks between different characters. Start with Vector to quickly dispatch enemies, switch to Flux for a flurry of hits, and finish your combo with Echo's special attack. Mastering each...
I mean, I'm not saying that this is going to be the next great thing. I saw a demo for it, so I downloaded it because I figured I'd give it a try. But game looks awesome. Yeah, I mean, it could be good or it could be crap. But my point is, just because the name is attached to Sony or attached to Ubisoft or attached to whatever doesn't mean it's going to outright be a failure, because there are independent studios within those companies that know what the hell they're doing. The problem is they still have to get approved by Sony or Ubisoft or whatever. Still a blade eat your heart out, yeah. So it just is what it is, you know. Published by Ubisoft, damn poor dev if it's Souls-like. I'm out. I don't know if it's Souls-like. Again, it looks more like a hybrid of sorts. It's one of the things I loved about Mortal Shell was the different shells you had were different combat styles, different weapons.
Each playstyle will be essential, as you'll face a variety of powerful enemies, each with their own attack patterns and weaknesses. And at the end of every biome, you'll face powerful bosses. These are dramatic, high-stakes encounters designed to be...
You know what it makes me think? Sorry for stopping right there on a blinding spot. What it makes me think about this game here is like what Marathon was going for in the aesthetics of having everything look robotic and very sterile and not human. But this is done in a very cool style, like very, very different, very, very awesome, appealing way.
rewarding. Each new
Like that character, okay, for being a generic, bland-looking, robot-looking thing, that actually looks pretty badass. It looks pretty cool. Oh, dude, Mortal Shell is one of those games that I think is highly underrated. Some people thought it was boring. I thought it was awesome. This game is called, hang on, I'll pull up the name in a second. We'll see it in just a second. It's called something metal, Morbid Metal, I think it was.
Each new run reshapes the world. Layouts shift, enemy types change, and you'll have to adapt and make strategic choices to succeed. Choose character upgrades, buffs, or curses that change how you play.
Oh, the only thing about this one that I might not love is that it's a roguelike or whatever, but that's fine because I've played those before, and there are ones that I like. The first Hades was really good.
Some of these choices push you to take risks, others offer abilities, rewards, and modifiers, which alter your combat style, making each run truly unique.
Morbid Metal. Hack and slash roguelite where you shapeshift into powerful characters, switch in real time to unleash unique combos and slaughter hordes of deadly machines and intense bosses. See, again, just talking about style, this right here, compared to Marathon and compared to what we were just looking at with Horizon Forbidden Asshole, whatever that game was, this actually looks really cool. And it still has the same vibe as Marathon. Like if they're going for the same kind of look for the characters, same style, I could see the same style, but this is just done in a much more appealing way. It's really hard when you're not an artist and you have to explain to somebody why something is appealing to you. And you go, well, I'm not like, I know when I see it, you know? Destiny and Warframe, I can understand that. I could get that. And again, it won't be for everybody. My point simply is that you're still going to find games that are decent and worth checking out, you know? Yeah, and it's got a demo on it, so it doesn't hurt to try the demo either. So yeah, that's just kind of something I stumbled upon. So yeah, I don't trust any Sony glazer to have a real opinion on this kind of stuff, but kind of going back to the characters in the game and the problem with them and the unappealing factor, because again, we just saw recently that Outer Worlds 2 massively underperformed. And this guy here, Johan, said, look at these characters and tell me if any of them make you want to play a 50 plus hours RPG, even something as simple as companions, and they couldn't get it right. And again, that's kind of the same issue that we're seeing with games like the Horizon game. It's just not appealing. You know, you could argue gameplay or art style or free to play or, no microtransactions, no battle pass, all those things that can make a game sound more appealing. But at the end of the day, is it something that you visually, video games are entirely visual. You see it first, then you interact with it through the controller, the mouse and keyboard, all that kind of stuff. Then there's the audio design, the soundtrack, things that in the story, things that will add to that experience. The first thing is what you see, Yeah, this is from Outer Worlds 2. They look the same. Yeah, they look generic. They look lifeless. Why did Jeff not promote this Mobile Metal game? Well, it's, I don't know. Like I said, I assume it's a small developer. Looks like they live in LA, exactly. But yeah, like I said, it's not going to be, that Morbid Metal game is not going to be for everybody, but it's certainly a game that I would definitely be interested in long before I'd ever play any of the rest of that crap that we're seeing. If you like the franchise, keep your eyes open. Yeah, except the biggest complaint people have is it looks like nothing from the franchise that we've seen. Hey, Empress, good morning. I hate those kind of shills. Shills are the worst, dude. Shills are the absolute worst. And to be fair, I don't know what Jeff Keighley promotes as far as like what he gets paid to promote, what he thinks, he could actually... People were asking him with High Guard, are you being paid to promote High Guard? Do you have some investment, some stake in the studio? Do you have some connection to this? And he said straight up, no, he didn't. But it certainly felt like it was like a paid advertising situation or some sort of like investment in the company that he was intentionally trying his hardest to promote this game. So speaking of female characters, speaking of specifically body types and diversification and intentionally making things ugly, I almost thought about making a video just on this one topic alone. And I might do that over the weekend because this is so damn funny and stereotypical of sites like The Gamer. I was like, Chris Rock makes music. Oh my God, man. No, you just combined two different thoughts. Although if Chris Rock made music, it might be okay. As long as it's funny. Yeah, that's what everyone says. Even as there isn't Xbox fan in this community, Obsidian deserves to fail for their woke slop. Yeah, I mean, for real. Hot Asian woman, ooh, you're a pedophile, male gaze. Exactly. Dude, you already know how this is going. And dude, you wait, Matt Adam, wait until you see who wrote the article. Okay, it'll all make a lot more sense. Does shilling count if it's Lord Gabe? No. No, because the thing about it is, I don't know anybody who is a Steam shill. I don't care where I get my video games. Steam is just the most convenient. If GOG had more games, I would buy more through GOG. When it comes to launchers, games that have their own launcher, that's fine too. I hate having to make an account for a game that I bought through Steam. So when I have to make an Epic account or an Embark account, I despise having to make an account just to play a game. when you already have an account through your launcher. It sucks. It's annoying. And it's also they have more control and to keep track of you and shit. But, you know, when it comes down to it, I don't care where I get my games as long as I get good service for a decent price and it runs the game effectively. The issue is that Epic sucks and nobody wants to go through Epic. And honestly, at this point now, I don't want to give Tim Sweeney my money ever again. Like, screw that man. Screw that guy. I was a sleeping hen when I heard that in my defense. Nah, no worries, dude. Not a Steam shill, I'm an Epic hater. Epic hater, and even if you didn't mean Epic, you can still capitalize Epic in that situation. Epic's a terrible platform and they did shady shit, exactly. After reading that article and understanding why Tim Sweeney was backing the UK against Steam, I'm like, screw that guy. Like, 100% screw that man. If women are classified as body type 2, then it's official that they'll always come second. Yeah. I like the reviews and free speech. Epic, on the other hand. So, dear Overwatch, please stop babyfying your female characters. This is from the gamer. Okay. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but I'm going to go through the first top... Wow, my brain is dead. Apparently my brain has been babyfied. The top liked responses, the liked replies. Savvy says, first off, you're retarded. Second, when they pandered to you freaks, no one wanted the character adventure. Third, the world is healing and you will all be jobless soon. We can only hope. So, Marshall Bohemian, love this guy except that he loves the prequel Star Wars movies. Says, why did you see her and the first thing you thought of was a child? And then I posted this one and said, oh, now it makes sense. This is Jade King? Jade, over at The Gamer. This be the individual who has a problem with the hot girls in Overwatch. Now, I'm going to give you guys a hint. Jade is not a woman. Okay? Not a woman. Susano, how are you doing? No more Harvard. War Department is finally taking a stance in a more effective manner. Yes, Jaded Queen, exactly. Not a woman. So, Empress, the headline is from this article that says, Dear Overwatch, please stop babyfying your female characters. Now, Overwatch, as somebody else pointed out, has always been a very, very inclusive game. Very woke. Very much lesbian, bisexual, trans, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, fat, short, skinny, whatever. They've done all of this, right? They've done all this to pander to a certain audience. Okay? Jade is a whoa man, exactly. Oh, we're going to get into an Empress, don't worry. We're going to get into the meaning of what is babyfying your female characters. TLDR, it means making them pretty. Okay? So, from Jade King. There was a time when Overwatch felt like the most progressive game in the world. Ah, yes, because that's all that matters. When it first burst onto the scene way back in 2016. Yeah, 2016 was a crazy time, guys. Long time ago. It offered a sprawling roster of heroes hailing from the myriad of different countries and cultures. This was also before Blizzard was rocked by an avalanche of controversial scandals and was still viewed as a bastion of good by most gamers. When box art Star Tracer was first revealed to be a canon lesbian character in a Christmas comic, I was over the moon while it felt wonderful to see characters like Mai and Zarya receive so much love despite their unconventional body types. Let me ask you a question. Why would a transgender, trans woman care so much about unconventional body types of women who happen to be lesbians and a lesbian coming out during a Christmas comic? This to me feels like I need to see my ideology crammed into a holiday that otherwise wouldn't be promoting my lifestyle, right? Crazy shit going on here. And people say that there's no agenda. Okay. But in the same breath, Overwatch would also receive justified criticism for unlockable skins, sporting specific aesthetics that were viewed as lazy cultural appropriation, while queer characters, seemingly being allergic to discussing their identity within the game itself, began to wear fans down as more and more of the cast were revealed to fall under the LGBTQ plus umbrella. Oh no, so you got the gay characters, but they couldn't yap about being gay enough, is essentially what they're saying. Yeah, I'll send it to you later, don't worry. You're gonna love this one. This is great. As the hero shooter rebrands itself with the upcoming season and arrival of 5 new heroes to play as, I'm left ruminating where exactly its stance on diversity currently resides, and how exactly Blizzard can stand to keep pushing forward and improving on things. It might still be one of the more progressive games out there, but that doesn't mean it can't be better. Ah yes, can never be gay enough. Overwatch desperately needs more diverse female characters. What a great way to... I'm so sorry. 2016 was 10 years ago. I hate everything. Executive director. I can't, man. I just can't. Yeah. I don't want to hear you talk about queer characters on Overwatch, and Blizzard pretends that they're not gay when they had the League in Saudi. Where all these unicorns come from? It's a good question. One of the 5 new playable playable heroes revealed this week is Anran, the older sister of existing hero Wu Yang. First appearing in Wu Yang's reveal trailer, her facial features appeared far blunter and accentuated, hinting towards what many hoped would one day translate into an incredibly distinct new female character in the game itself. Rather than building on the mostly positive reception from the initial design, her final appearance is babyfied like so many other women in Overwatch's roster. It's like potential was discarded and now someone decided to throw Kiriko's features onto an entirely new character instead of building something unique. I'm not naive to the gaming landscape that Overwatch exists in, and have no doubt that an enormous team of people decided that making Anran conventionally attractive and trying to mimic similar successes seen in characters like Kiriko and Juno would be the best route to take. As a consequence, though, she now feels forgettable. I'm not alone in feeling this way. Countless fans have already taken to social media to express their disappointment. I bet they have, and I'm not even going to click on that link because I know exactly the kind of people who would be complaining about it. I've honestly had enough of this shit, dude. It's exhausting. What if these are aliens taking over? Game called Killjoy by Over the Moon. It's not yet, but it's very funny. Just know I tried to type a ripping and unicorn in half together and then YouTube blocked me again. Oh my god. Countless fans. I'm sure it's tens of fans, man. It's borderline misogynistic. No, okay. The most misogynistic thing you can do is be a man and pretend to be a woman, and then to lecture people on what it means to be a woman, and to think that you need to be included in conversations about things that pertain to being a woman. There are no greater misogynists in life than the men cosplaying as women, and I will die on that hill literally till the day I die. The only people that are truly misogynistic are a tiny percent of men that will probably never find a girlfriend because they truly hate women. And it's the tiniest percentage of men. Most men like women in some capacity or the other. Misogyny means to truly hate women. And then there are the troons, the transgenders, the men who think that they're women, you know? Hey, Mari. Everyone's waking up in the middle of the night or the early morning, apparently. Hey, Anvik. Dude, honestly, we're all exhausted, man. We are all exhausted, you know? Hypersexuality and straight people viewed as bad, but in the LGBT community, it's glorified and takes over everything. Yeah. Dude, it's so bad. Why do chicks want to... I looked at the new Steam Deck, and ad YouTube now constantly shows me shorts and reviews. Damn, it's nice too. Steam Deck sounds like a cool idea. I just don't like handheld gaming, to be honest. It's borderline misogynistic to take a female character who once possessed unique features only to outwardly sexualize her appearance with a cutesy face and tighter clothes designed to accentuate her breasts, hips, and behind. No. Misogyny means that you would hate all those features on a woman. Men who like those features on a woman don't hate women, therefore they're not misogynistic. Call it sexist, chauvinistic, I guess. I don't know. But my God. Yeah, we're all over the place, Avernum, time-wise. I think we're all jacked up at this point. Everyone's either waking up early in the morning, middle of the night. It's getting to be late at night here, so it's crazy. It's so unlike the Overwatch that put itself on the map by defying conventions. Even Widowmaker, who is slim and sexy, manages to own that sexuality instead of letting it be used against them. Does Jade know that this is a video game character, that this person's not real? Juno, Kiriko, and now Anran fall into the same trap of being adorable and petite East Asian women who sadly aren't very different from one another in terms of design. I'm not going to say it. I'm just not going to say it. He thinks all Asian women look alike. Damn, man. That sounds like a you problem. God. As Overwatch enters a new era, I was hoping some of these bad habits may be left behind, and progress can be glimpsed in some of the other new characters, with Domina being an incredibly strong and confident Indian woman who owns her looks much like Widowmaker and Zarya have over the years. I want to see more female characters like this across the spectrum of culture and attraction that don't fill the same predictable demographic. Once again, guys, this is Jade King, author of the article. Okay? It's always ugly fat women or lonely cat women or men who think they're women that hate beautiful women. It's always someone in that category. It's always those people that hate anytime they see a conventionally attractive woman. Oh, that's a man. That's a dude, okay? 90% of the time people say misogyny, chauvinism is a term they want. Exactly. But it's a term that suddenly went out the window some 50. Yeah, what they mean is chauvinistic. And I am 100% chauvinistic. I can accept that. But what I'm not is I'm not a misogynist. I don't hate any woman just for being a woman. Well, that's not actually his real name, I don't think. Most of these guys don't use their real name. Like Stacy Henley over at The Verge or PC Gamer or whatever, not actually their name. I want to see more female characters like this across the spectrum. Sucks for... okay, no, he said they all look alike. Okay. No, okay. Especially because even if her backstory is incredibly interesting and she receives some exciting cosmetic skins in the future, all of this will be undermined by their base appearance, which refuses to take any chances. It just feels like a natural detriment to Overwatch being a hero shooter trying to appeal to as wide an audience as possible in a landscape where diversity doesn't carry the weight that it used to. Good. Diversity on its own is not a strength. It's not. Saying diversity is our strength literally doesn't mean anything. You cannot say adding more diversity equals more gooder. That's not the way life works, okay? Naturally occurring diversity that has a positive benefit or that is cohesive with other cultures and shit, that's an entirely different topic. Just adding more LGBT umbrellaed characters does not mean that they're going to be better. It just means you're going to feel more and more represented because you're all mentally ill freaks. Of all the current live service fandoms out there, Overwatch is an audience who would have celebrated an on-round design that built upon her debut instead of leaving so many of its hallmarks behind. Unfortunately, that's not what we got. Blizzard saw fit to make her features softer and more cutesy, even if it meant undermining the progress this new era intends to make. What he means is, and I don't know what the original character looked like, what he probably means is it looked more like a man. Probably had a stronger jawline. You know? Refuses to take any chances. They actually made a pretty character. That's something that's a risk. I mean, look at it. She's bashing them for it. No. He's bashing them. I mean, DC, you're not wrong there. Diversity can mean a wide variety of things, and a lot of it's not good. Let's put non-engineering persons into engineering work. That would work out swell, I'm sure. Exactly, Susano. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Hardcore Mode. They know they're losing. Guys, did you know that we have diversity in this chat? We've got people in countries all over the world right now of different ethnic origins, backgrounds, religions, political affiliations, you name it. And it's not the fact that we're all from different places that makes it good. It's the fact that we all have things that we agree on and can have a conversation about. It's like they don't understand what really makes people tick. It's not about artificially checking boxes. It's about having things that you can relate to. It's not about seeing yourself, not about representation. It's not about literally seeing someone who looks just like you on a screen. It's being able to relate to those characters. It's being able to create a good story for those characters that makes people want to invest in those characters. And that's what these people never understand, you know? It's funny that even Overwatch is now slowly giving up the transing of everything. Dude, it's because eventually the pendulum swings, you know? Black guy wear. Mr. Hardcore Mode. I'm a black guy on Twitter now for the rest of the month. Until Valentine's Day, I'm switching to my Cupid profile picture. But right now, I look like the King of Wakanda on Twitter for Black History Month. So, you gotta love AI. They do the hagification as well. Dude, for real. I was noticing that people were talking about, like, in the Fable trailer, all of the romance options, all the NPCs, the characters in the village that you run into, are all generic, ugly-looking people. They're just terrible. Don't need to agree with what everyone here says to get along with them. Yeah, we're actually able to tolerate one another. Again, not to like keep fluffing Big Fry, because I don't understand it, like why I would. He's a huge channel, massive YouTuber. But this morning we were talking about all this stuff where they're destroying white male characters, emasculating men, all these things. And it's like, yeah, we don't all agree on things politically. He's a Canadian. He doesn't like right-wing stuff. But we're all talking about what we're seeing in games. And we're like, yeah, we can all agree that there's some weird shit going on. Whether you're on different parts of the political spectrum or not, it doesn't matter. It's like, on Discord, I'm also a black dude. Yeah, there you go. No, I'm. It's not blackface. I made my character a little. He's suntanned, man. That's it. The suntan. I mean, on Discord, I'm also a black dude. I hope everyone's pure Aryan in this chat. Exactly. Yeah. Hey, you all get the white card. You can all be crackers. Just want games to be games, escapism, not shoehorn in modern beliefs and ideals into fictional settings. And that's the thing, dude. That's the crazy part that people will go, well, Star Wars was political, where Metal Gear Solid was political. You can't say don't be political. No, no, no. Creating your own political story is not the same thing as trying to mirror, like everything on TV being like Orange Man bad, or everything having like a underlying, well, it's a villain in a superhero film, but it's really supposed to be Trump, or it's really, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's supposed to be Vladimir Putin. It's supposed to be one of these real life existing baddies. It's like, no, no, no. Having politics in a story that you've created from scratch. Okay, the politics of Game of Thrones, right? The politics of Game of Thrones didn't mirror anything happening in the year 2010 or 20, whenever the books were written. It's a fictional world. I never read the books, didn't watch the show, but I know that it's all about political intrigue and backstabbing and family lines and weird shit and stuff. I get that. So again, unless I'm missing something, I'm pretty sure Game of Thrones has its own political intrigue, right? Chat's already example, the audience is all over. That's what I'm saying, Susano. It blows me away, man. It blows me away. I'll look up Killjoy by Over the Moon. It's a game, you said? It blows me away that we have so many different people. Like, I upload my videos overnight, and it's crazy that my videos do better as far as views when I upload overnight, and then they steadily trickle out throughout the course of my daytime hours the next day. And it makes me remember, it's like, I have a wide amount of people who see my content all over the world, you know? I asked to be a black dude in my pants. You could probably get a black dude in your pants. You could... I'm not going to make any offers. Identify as a trans game dev making a live service. I expect a paycheck. Exactly. Yeah, and in Avernum, it doesn't have to always be attractive characters. It needs to be characters who fit the world that they exist in. And if that means attractive characters, so be it, you know? Fable's a sore point. The latest trailer and the removal of the signature mechanic only made me happy the original game was on sale that week. Yeah, dude, the whole... We're not going to have the game affected, the character affected by their choices. We're going to have morality be subjective. I'm like, dude, no way. Hell no. No. In a game where you can do whatever you want to and you have consequences and your actual physical appearance is changed by the morality of your character and the decisions you made, you cannot say morality is subjective. It's like murdering that person, you know, ganking some guy for no reason whatsoever, objectively evil. There's no question, man. Yeah, no, Mr. Hardcore Mode, you know what I was after there. You know what I was thinking. If Kata was here, I'd say him, but Kata and Atreus, neither... Well, I guess Atreus... Leon was saying Atreus doesn't watch anybody else's videos, but Kata pops in once in a while. Well-written, compelling character will always attract people. There you go, Avernum. Perfect example right there.